Backlog.
Okay.
You guys are all right. You guys are all right.
Cut him down.
Keep talking. Keep talking. Yo. Hello, guys.
Yo.
Welcome to the Backlog Podcast number 24.
Yes,
I didn't prep y'all for this, but I'm Matt.
2-4. August.
Dozens.
Freddy.
Hello, monkeys. I mean, Andrew.
So let's see. So usually, guys, just so you know, the first thing that we do on the podcast is we usually go over our weeks. And as our honorary guests, I was kind of hoping that one of you two would go first. So let's see. Freddie, do you want to go first?
Sure, why not?
What you did
Just
this
what has been going on for me this past
You
week.
could say anything
Hell
weird,
yeah, dude.
interesting, bad. I mean, you know, whatever it may be, man.
Yes, log.
Fun
Okay.
things, bad
Oh.
things.
Log.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Thank you for the follow.
What
I
life
guess-
is like out there in the real world, you know?
I wouldn't know anything about the real world, but
yeah,
from what I've been
is
doing.
the real world?
Of course, he doesn't go outside. You would know this.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most exciting thing for me that happened this past week was this past Thursday. I actually started. I started DMing a new D&D campaign, and it's the first time that I have been DMing like a full campaign.
Oh.
So like I've done like one shots and like short stuff before, but like I've never like set out to do like a whole like full campaign thing. So I'm doing that,
yeah.
and that's exciting. We had our first session, and it went well. Nothing broke, nothing died. Yeah,
5th edition?
5th, yeah. I'm doing Call of the Netherdeep.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
No.
I always thought DMing would be super cool. Like,
Didn't you
is
say
this-
like you were gonna like do a thing where like you talk like on TikTok where you talk about your experience being like a first time DM and like
Yeah,
things
no,
you learn?
I recorded stuff because I'm doing a YouTube series for it.
Okay.
And I've recorded stuff for that, and I'm like halfway, like somewhere between a third and halfway through editing it. It takes a long time. I am learning now to edit a full YouTube video.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like when
Mhm.
when you're editing a 1-minute video for TikTok, it doesn't take all that long. When you're editing like a 25-minute video for YouTube, that takes 20 to 25 times longer.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a shock!
I concur.
I
I've been
remember taking 3 hours of footage and turning it into a 10-minute video, and it was insane how long it took to, like, how much footage like it takes just to like get all of the good stuff into about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I've never actually done D&D before. I've always wanted
fun.
to. Like, I've
Yeah.
always, from afar, like, I've seen other people play it, and it looks like a blast, and I've always wanted to do it. So I think it's on my bucket list before I die, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like DMing is like the hardest part, even because you actually have to understand the rules, or if the players can just be. told
Yeah,
what to
that's
do,
like
you know?
I've gotten to the point now where I'm like, okay, I wouldn't have to look up too much stuff in terms of rules, and like I've done a lot of improv comedy in my life in general, so like I have a lot of experience on that side. So I think those things combined, and like I probably over prepared a little bit. Oh no.
Now, do you guys? I'm sorry. Do you guys play in person?
Yeah, this campaign we're doing in person. So it's like, it's funny because there's 5 players, and 4 of those 5 players I am in another campaign with, like right now. It's just that one of them was the DM, and then the other 4 were the players, and now we're just doing 2 campaigns at the same time with almost an identical group of people, which is very funny to me. But so we're alternating weeks now, so it's like every other week it's one of the campaigns.
I think we
Yeah,
lost
Drew said that his power went out for a sec, so he'll be back when he gets back.
Oh, lovely. All right.
Yeah. So now we're just like, one Thursday it's her campaign, the next Thursday it's mine, the next Thursday it's hers, and we're doing back and forth like that.
I think Toro,
Nice.
somebody in the chat just asked if it's a D&D podcast.
It is not, the game itself is not is not a podcast or an actual play or anything like that. The closest thing is like my YouTube series about that is going to be a YouTube series. But it's not, the campaign itself isn't being like broadcast.
That's unfortunate.
And
It'd be fun.
your YouTube channel is youtube.com/PrettyPowPow, right?
It's not. I don't have a special URL for it yet, because my YouTube channel is significantly smaller than my TikTok.
Yeah, it's cool,
So
Toro.
I'm at 83 subscribers right now, but like if you search Freddy Pow Pow on YouTube, you'll probably find me.
I was actually watching some of your skits. I think my favorite one was like the character crisis one. With
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun to do.
yeah, that was actually pretty funny. And I liked man, I don't remember. I just remember Weed Goku 420. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right, yeah. This is pretty funny.
Yeah, shout
Um,
out to Yohozi for the funniest tag in the FGC.
Right?
I think she was the one who came up with that tag first.
I apologize. Our surge.
Drew, my dude, welcome back.
I live.
Oh,
He's
no, now we
alive.
can't talk about Drew anymore.
Drew.
Damn, that's
It's
wild.
fine. You can watch it on the recording.
Oh, no.
You got the receipts.
Drew, do you want to tell us about your week, man? What'd you do?
Oh, about my week? Oh, my week was it was okay aside from the news that dawned on everybody this Friday.
Mhm.
Yep.
You know, I've just been like working outside because y'all don't know this, but in my house, like my dad has been working on fixing the pipes under our house. So literally, we've dug out the entire backyard, and also like a little like dirt connecting between our garage and the driveway out into the front yard, and we're placing in new pipes and all that. So that's what I was digging out for like mostly. That's what I've been doing like from mostly every day to day. Aside from that, it's like either just running errands or hanging with my girlfriend. But I am also doing a podcast thing with some TikTok friends of mine. So, you know,
Hey,
that has been considerably fun. And then, you know, Backlog invited me. So I was like, ooh, yay, another one. I'm excited.
yeah, man.
All the podcasts.
Yeah, well, I did see. I saw a few
Well, I
times
can-
that like you just started that new podcast, and I tried
Man's
to
collecting podcasts like Infinity Stones out here.
yeah. And yeah, what's your new podcast about, man?
It's with me and 3 other friends who like we mostly talk about like anime stuff, cosplaying stuff, video games. You know, most of the like stuff that you know we always like to talk about with each other. So we were just like, hey, yo. So how it started, it was one of my boys named Greedy J. He does this thing where he like interviews like different content creators out there on TikTok. So at one point he interviewed me. At one point he interviewed my friend Aaron, not Aaron. Another point he interviewed RJ Hooks, and then we were all talking and we were just like, hey, yo, what if we all like just you know like did one together? And about a month later, we decided we're just gonna do this like month to month, well once per month, and see how it turns out. It's called the very very creative name, the Jerd Podcast, which stands for you know J, Aaron, RJ, and me, Drew. It's very
Dude,
creative.
I'm pretty sure like you could try to find anything. Like it's very difficult to find a podcast name that isn't taken. I'm just throwing
Very,
that out
very
there.
true.
Like it's I mean
Yeah.
it's really hard to be original with podcast names. Like if this podcast didn't have a 3 in it, the name already exists. I'm just saying. So it already exists. I think like a few
Well,
of them
luckily
exist.
we're elite, you know?
Right.
Yeah, right, of course. In all caps, of course.
I'm
All
waiting for
caps.
someone to come up with like a Google podcast name generator app, and just people start like throwing it in there to get the name.
I'm gonna see if it exists real quick.
I bet it does.
Multi-million
Podcast-
dollar
Yeah,
idea.
podcast name generator. There it is, right there.
Oh, of course.
Well, there
we
it
have
goes.
we have a friend, an FGC friend. Sorry, who made his username by a name generator. His name is Sedated Bobcat,
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
and it's a great name.
Okay. They wanted me to like put some keywords into this generator, so I put an
did the same thing that You
FGC.
just did, Drew.
I put an FGC and I got stuff like Touchback FGC, Delight FGC, Advisor FGC, Ruckus FGC. Like
Here's
these
the
are
thing: is I'm
these are
looking at the same
lame.
thing that you are, I think, and I think that all it did was it took because I put in gaming as my like prompt, and
Right.
all it is like word gaming, like it's like
Yeah, that's literally what it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
It's become sentient,
optimized
guys.
gaming, sensor gaming, fiber gaming, orc gaming.
Listen,
Like
I'm
that
sure they put a
business
lot
name.
of work into this generator, all right?
Ex Machina 2.
Yep.
Um,
Alliance gamingify, like okay. Gaming-tastic.
I just want to say this
Horrible.
to my boys here, the other co-hosts of the podcast. For the love of God, whenever the last one of you, I'm gonna go last, okay? Whenever the last one of you's done with your week, please ask me what. Go ahead and pass the torch off to me, because every single week you.
I do.
No, August, like I think it was during. The problem is I re-listened to the podcast just to kind of go over things. I want to say like the last few podcasts there was like a large pause between weeks. But anyway.
Yeah.
August, how was your week, man?
Not too bad. Work, school, busy running around doing stuff. At the end of the week, I caught up a little bit on TV. I'm still kind of holding off on finish up Obi-Wan, but I hear people really like the last episode, so I now am like obligated to check out the rest of it. I paused somewhere on episode 4, so I'll probably just binge the last 3 in a hurry. But I know, right? But as for current stuff and new stuff, fully caught up on The Boys the other day. Herogasm was great. It was a great episode.
I could talk about that episode all day.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly the comic. And it wasn't exactly nearly as shocking as like you expected it to be. Because I mean, a lot of people are even saying this online. They kind of blew their load with what happened in the first episode of this season. Pardon the phrase.
I know what you're
saying, right?
But,
no, he's. Oh man.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I don't know. Like, there's a scene in episode 1 of this season that's way more shocking than anything that happens in Herogasm. Minus the actual fight that happens at the end of Herogasm, which is dope as fuck. That would arguably be the best part of the episode. But yeah, I mean, The Boys is still a great show. I'd even say it's the best show on TV. So if you're not watching it, you should watch it.
All I'm saying is that it starts off small and then becomes a big problem.
Yeah. That's the best way to say it.
Okay.
So watch The Boys season 3. If you're not caught up, get caught up because it's a wild ride. And then
good ass TV.
It is some good ass TV. Steam Summer Sale is this week too, so I have like $50 of games in my cart right now, which is good for me because normally it's $200, and it's still like, do I buy these games or not? You
the
know
answer
what I
is
mean?
no.
Like, yeah, well,
you
I mean,
don't play them. You don't play
yeah.
video games. Why do you buy video games?
It's not
You end up
about
with a backlog.
yeah, exactly.
Literally,
Well,
this is.
Yeah, I have like over 3,000 games on my wish list. I have over like 800 games in my library. It's not about buying the games anymore. It's not about playing the games anymore. It's just about owning the games and having the option to play the game.
Collecting them.
Yeah,
I once read that I think they were talking. This was specifically about board games, but that playing board games and collecting board games are different hobbies.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
I think that definitely applies to probably all of our Steam libraries to some extent.
Like, my cousin, like he has a bunch of board games and he's just actively trying to get through them, so he just doesn't seem like a collector.
Yeah.
He's trying to play them.
I know so many people that will like get a new board game, play it once, and be like, okay, I've now played it, so I am obligated to get rid of it and get a new one.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
I got Gloomhaven, attempted to play it. I'm like, no, this is too much work.
I am
I put it away.
I'm in the exact same boat as Gloomhaven. I have opened the box once, and then I promptly closed.
It's a commitment.
Yeah,
It's a commitment.
You see everything. You're just like, maybe another time.
It's like
Right.
The hard thing about it is that to play it, not only do I have to want to play it, but I have to have 3 to 5 other willing participants who also want to do this.
Oh yeah,
That's hard enough.
That's
All right,
a
who
whole,
wants to sit down for 8 hours, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I was
That's
gonna
a
say that's like a whole
blast.
day. That's like a whole day gone.
4 hours to set up, 4 hours to play. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's
So-
like an aunt used to have like play Monopoly, and they would like pause, like halfway through the night, and just come back to the game. But yeah,
Now here's my question: why do all that when Uno is right there?
It's true.
I want to.
Uno gets too spicy. People
Give
get
me
too
a-
into it.
Give me a second to show you.
And that's the joy of it.
Well,
Okay,
no,
Uno-
Uno's like the Mario Kart.
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
board
Uno
games.
is the Mario Party of board games. It just gets toxic at a certain point. Mario
That's
Kart,
right.
everyone's still having a good time.
Hang
No,
on,
Mario
Freddy.
Party
no,
time.
disagree. Mario
Freddy,
Kart,
what's
no
the
one's
purchase?
ever having a good time.
I'm always having a good time.
Freddy, what's
Maybe
the
it's because I
purchase that
win.
you
I don't
made?
know.
What is
Uno,
it?
you bought it?
Oh, wow.
Oh god,
Yeah.
What?
Absolutely.
that
did.
sounds brutal.
Every
I could
card
never.
is a wild card.
What-
I
What-
could never.
But how do you...
So
You haven't heard about this deck?
Gotta get good.
No.
I don't
it's
even know.
the last time I played it, it's Uno if you made it more violent somehow. It's just like there's draw twos, there's draw fours, there's targeted draw twos where you can pick anyone in the circle who has to draw two. There's double skips, which are skipping over two people. But we did literally have a game last time I played this where one of the players, they had a hand of like somewhere between 15 and 20 cards or so, and they were all just normal wild cards. So like literally no card he played actually had an effect on the game. It just continued past his turn.
I would be visibly
A
upset.
disaster. They were visibly upset.
That
It's
sounds
a upsetting
crazy.
game.
Like I'd be pretending to have fun, but then like I'd look at my like sigh, you know.
Good
Dead
lord.
on the inside.
Yeah.
I'd be just,
But
Haha, I'm glad we played this, guys. Haha.
It's like wild skip, wild card, wild +2, wild swap hands. This is the swap hands with someone card.
Swap hands.
And then it's just
Alright.
like wow.
Sounds crazy.
So
Anyway.
it's just like be an asshole, Uno edition.
Yes. It's like I describe
I can
it
get
as,
behind that.
it's like it's the perfect version of Uno for people whose favorite part of Mario Party is the bonus stars.
The pity stars?
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
the pity stars.
Where it's like, ooh, I know that you've played this game and you've interacted with it and you've had effects from your choices, but what if we had some fun with it now? What if
Yeah.
this person won? Just because.
But what if?
What
Who
if this
cares
person
if you're
was
up by
rewarded?
3 stars? This guy has more coins.
This person now gets 4 stars because they lost the most mini games, they landed on the most red spaces, and because they like walked the least. Like, here you go.
All
That's
I'm
the
saying is
little
if you-
cousin factor.
If you haven't like set up your altar in Candle to like Orange Jesus before you started the game, you're gonna have a bad time.
It's true. Yo,
You have a little
contestants,
Jeez.
shrine of amiibos.
how was your week, man?
Oh wait. I wasn't even done. I wasn't even done.
Okay.
Well, then
all right.
finish your damn
Oh,
week.
okay.
Finish your week, my.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Steam games, awesome game that just came out. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you haven't played it, it's fire.
Yes, sir.
After our last
That's-
stream, we all played it. It's literally, as an adult, it is the perfect length game. You can beat it in like what 2.5 hours, and you're having a like it's got like an infinite replayability almost. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Uh,
6-player, man. It was really
It
fun
seems like
playing
an
on Sunday.
updated like Turtles in Time.
It's
just-
better
It's
Turtles.
really solid. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, well, an update is better, right? Like
Yeah. you're right.
usually, hopefully.
But yeah, no, that's fire. I now want them to like remake every arcade beat 'em up. Like I want an X-Men version of that. I want like a Street Treks
Oh,
version of
yeah.
that.
Oh,
Simpsons.
I want a biker
Simpsons.
mice from
Seen a
Mars
lot of
version of
people
that.
for
Simpsons.
remaking Simpsons.
Please.
Simpsons was the best arcade game. I fucking loved that game.
I mean, the arcade one up, like they released that for The Simpsons, so it's got to be possible, for them to
Right?
get the
Exactly.
IP.
It has to be an option.
Has to be an option. I mean, did they make an X-Men arcade version of the? Does anyone know? Of
Not
the
yet.
arcade
I
one
think
up?
it's
I
on the
don't
list
know.
of things they're gonna make. It's not out yet.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Yeah.
'Cause that
I know we
game's still
have
stuck on
an
the
export
PS3.
of the Dungeons and Dragons one. That one's really good too.
I'm saying we need a remaster of Simpsons Hit and Run. That's all I'm saying.
Please, God.
That would be
Simpsons
nice.
is so good.
That'd be nice. That's
Why
a
don't
solid
you
That
just
game.
game
like
was
Crazy
that game was
Taxi,
too
though?
difficult for no reason though.
I saw someone online was trying to like remake it in Unreal as like an open world game, and I was like, that's kind of a cool idea.
Just need to be open
Uh,
world. Just needs to be Simpsons
Nintendo.
Run.
Open world, why?
It's
Yeah,
already,
exactly.
it's already fairly open
Yeah,
world.
it's already
Yeah,
pretty
right?
open, but
You
Right.
just gotta drive wherever.
Are-
You're just
are
trying
they
to
just
drive
gonna-
wherever and not get hit by cops.
Are they
GTA
just gonna make
Simpsons
everything
is-
farther apart? Like,
I guess.
More tedious. Yes,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, that's the last thing I need that game to be. That game was already difficult enough.
That game was
What?
fun as shit.
I remember some of those race segments were mean.
They were very mean.
Tough.
Rubber banding out the wazoo.
Uh,
You're never far enough ahead. You got to live your life a quarter mile at a time. But no, honestly, chill week. Busy week, but chill week. Can't complain. Obviously there was the big bummer on Friday, but as for all the stuff out of it, other than that, not too bad. My last recommendation is check out The Bear on Hulu. It's got the dude who plays Philip from Shameless as the main character, and it's just a good ass show. I don't know, like he runs a restaurant, and it's like very like he runs like a Chicago beef, which is like Chicago's version of like Philly cheesesteak restaurant in Chicago, and it's just a chill ass show.
Cool, man.
Cool.
Yo, Quintessence, how was your week, man?
I mean, like, other than basically like dying of heat stroke constantly, it's been pretty cool. I started a new Pathfinder 2 campaign, and that's been a lot of fun. We just concluded our previous one. We ended up taking down a big bad way above our level because our barbarian was completely cracked out of his mind in damage. And so now we're just doing a nice little world reset with a pre-made campaign, Abomination Vaults. Apparently it's just a mega dungeon, so I'm really looking forward to that. Other than that, I watched The Boys. I finished up Spy Family.
Yes, sir.
Spy Family, fucking fantastic. Great anime. What else? Oh, I finally got around to seeing part of Doctor Strange. I didn't finish it. I got like a little bit bored, so I'm gonna try to come back
Oh,
to
man.
it.
This is a glowing review.
I know, right?
I agree it wasn't the best movie ever, but I had not enough to like stop halfway through.
Well, it was kind of late already, so I was just kind of like, do I really want to just sit here and watch this,
Fair enough,
or
he's
would I
coming.
rather go to sleep?
Well, we could do a
And I
movie
ended up
review.
choosing sleep instead. But that's about it. A lot more Tekken, and that's really been about it. That's just a chill week, other than heat stroke, which is still continuing today.
Wait, where do you live at?
I live in Washington.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's hot all across the country
Western
nowadays, baby.
Washington, and I love the rain and the cold, and instead it's like 85 with like 70% humidity. I'm like, why? I don't have an AC. I can't afford these temperatures. I'm just sitting here sweating to death. All right, this is
I cannot
great.
live, laugh, love in these conditions.
So,
Yeah, exactly. There's no
he's
love to
not-
be had. I'm
not
just
living his best life.
cranky. All right,
Yep.
but other than that, it's great. Everything's awesome. Backlog. How the hell was your week?
It only took us almost half an hour, but yeah, how was it?
That's pretty typical. So I've actually been like kind of I don't know. We've talked about this before, but like I've been trying to get my fitness down, like my fitness routine, and I've been struggling with it for a while. But I literally went into the gym. I got into the gym once this week. I consider it. I consider it a victory on my part because it's like I went in. I did the easiest workout possible. And so, like, now I'm, like, more apt to go again next week. You know what I mean? And that's like,
Yeah.
kind of how I look at it. And,
you dipped your feet into the pool, and you're like, oh, it's not that bad.
yeah, because, like, before, like, resisting going, it's always like, well, I don't know if I really want to go. And it's like, once you get in there, it's like, oh, this isn't so bad. You know, I've done this plenty of times before. But it's, like, really building that habit that's really important. I've been trying to do like intermittent fasting off and on for a little while, which is like I think it's like 16/8, like 16 hours fast, like 8 hours like eating, and that's been going okay. It's just like it's all basically just habit stuff, and that's been all right. I think Monday we've been watching Kamen Rider Build, and we're just about hitting the finale on Kamen Rider Build actually, like this Monday. In the Discord.
Yeah, I think we have 8 episodes to go.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to see like what we're gonna watch next. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we watch the 70s Spider-Man, like Japanese Spider-Man tokusatsu.
It might
You have,
win
like,
the vote.
doesn't he have like a spider mech in that?
He does.
He does have a
spider
spider mech, yes. He has a
I'm so-
bracelet that calls a spider mech.
Oh man,
That's wild.
Because
That-
mechs were
that's
very in at the time.
I love how his catchphrase is Spider-Man, the emissary of hell. Or like he's the world martial arts champion or something like that, and he always gets his ass
Yeah.
kicked. And
Sometimes uses a gun.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's the meme of him using like a machine gun in a room full of people. And then what else is there? But yeah,
chaotic Spider-Man.
yeah, I'm really I think he gets his powers from an alien spider, not even like person. He doesn't even like get it from like a radioactive spider. So I love like the inconsistency of Japanese Spider-Man.
Some slight liberties were taken
That
with the
sounds
Spider-Man
amazing.
IP.
Japanese Spider-Man is the best because he uses a gun.
Exactly.
I've also been playing. I don't think I mentioned this last week, but I actually like bothered to do some Tekken ranked and finally just made it to Genbu because I felt like it. And
Congratulations.
yeah, man, and like it's always a nice feeling to know that like you actually can kind of yeah. I remember when I first started playing fighting games and I had trouble making it to silver, to kind of quote Freddy Pow Pow's like what is it, your video, like it's not your character, you know, whatever that, you know, you're making it as silver.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you remember what
it was something about it was about someone like having a character crisis, and it's like your character's not the problem, you're in silver.
You're in silver, exactly. Yeah, it's like it's like a skill problem, and
That's too close to home for me.
and like the thing about Tekken that I love though is that like most everything has an answer, and so it's like it's always really fun to lab. And that's like one of the things I love about Tekken. But yeah, man, been enjoying Tekken quite a bit. I actually made some RGB SCART cables for some retro gaming that I'm gonna do here pretty quick. That took a little while. Like a little bit of soldering. And I've just basically been trying to make my own retro gaming cables. Played some Dragon Ball Advanced on the Game Boy Advance. Advanced Adventure? I don't know if anyone's ever played that.
Advanced Adventure.
Yeah,
I think I have.
Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure. It's actually really fun. It's a good beat 'em up. It's like a beat 'em up, but has like fighting game aspects to it, and it's only in Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z. It has like
that's not as much.
it's it has like guard break mechanics and stuff like that. It also has like it lets you charge like Kamehamehas and do super moves and stuff like that. It's a pretty good game. And it has like New Game Plus and stuff. But it doesn't it doesn't hit that last arc where Goku's like becoming an adult. Like the last.
Now, did you play them on the Game Boy Advance?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you have played them on the Steam Deck?
But could I have carried my Steam Deck to work?
Yeah, of course.
I'm just saying, like
you could have, but I mean, I wouldn't want it to mysteriously go missing. So
I can't fit my Steam Deck in my back pocket. I can fit my Game Boy Advance in my back
I
pocket.
keep telling you,
your
you just need to make a
pockets.
holster for it, bro.
Yeah, I think I was listening to the
Whole ass like bandolier.
Afternoon Tune episode, and that's what you said. You said wear a strap, like a baby strap thing.
Yeah,
around your
I mean,
chest.
just put it right in there. That way, it's always with you.
Bruh.
No one's gonna see it at all, and I will not get in trouble with management.
Nope.
But yeah, man. And then yeah, that's pretty much been my week, man. So yeah, with that, I guess we could move over to some interview questions if you guys are ready.
I'm ready when y'all are. Let's do it.
All right, so I've got some.
Hit 'em.
So first of all, so the people want to know, who is Freddy Pow Pow and King Drew, and why are you here today? Whoever wants to go first.
We are here because we are currently locked in the Backlogs dungeon, and he won't let us leave until we do this interview.
Mm-hmm.
Valid.
Besides that was a given.
I have been clawing at the walls for the past 30 minutes, and I cannot find an exit.
Listen,
Oh.
he currently has me feeling like I'm in the movie Count Monte Cristo, where I'm just writing on the walls, "God will give me justice. God will give me justice." Just everywhere.
Every once
Dude,
in a while,
guys, check out this cool escape room.
every once in a while, a little bit of water like drips through a tube, like in the wall, and that's like how we stay hydrated. But other than that, we're just
Like a hamster.
struggling. Yeah, like a hamster.
The cat's getting more love than we are.
Oh,
No, but for real though, I'm here because Backlog asked me to be here as an interview, and I'm just like, oh sure, awesome. I love to do these. I love it when people ask questions about me and also about my friends. It's the best thing.
Of course, yeah.
Mm.
But I think the main reason why was essentially to also help promote the DNF Duel charity tournament.
Oh yeah, that is a thing, isn't it? No.
Yeah, yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was hoping you'd tell the people, like, what do you guys do, especially with content creation and stuff like that as well.
I'll let Freddy go first.
Ah, dang! I was gonna say I'll let Drew go first.
God damn it.
That'll be
But
faster.
sure. So what I do, I'm a content creator mostly on TikTok. I do a lot of D&D content. I do some fighting game content. I do just kind of whatever strikes me in the moment. I don't plan it too far ahead.
Like me for real.
But I'm starting to branch out into YouTube a little bit now with like this series I'm doing. I've done some sketches. Drew and I have both done some sketches for Combo Breaker Presents Look Alive 2 this past like couple months.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So we've done some fighting game content that's gotten like a lot of eyes on it that we feel pretty like proud of. And then I guess besides that, we're both just proud fighting game community members, and I think that's pretty much how we met you, Backlog, was through just the TikTok FGC community that started to sprout up.
Yep.
And now we're here. We do have the upcoming Dueling Cancer DNF Duel Invitational tournaments. I want to say it's July 7th, but I don't have that
I think it's
that
the
date
the
burned in my
10th,
brain.
if
The
I'm not
10th.
mistaken.
I'm
The
looking at
10th.
my
It's July
calendar.
the 10th.
Yes, I'm looking at my calendar. I was like, it was a Sunday, and a 7th is not a Sunday, but the 10th is, so it is definitely July 10th.
Yes.
Freddy, I feel like you're forgetting something.
What am I forgetting? The pre-show?
No, the thing you usually do on the side.
Oh, I'm also a voice actor. I do voice
Oh.
acting.
All right, hey.
I was like thinking specifically about like what content do I make,
That-
like
do
I
I
said,
put on TikTok?
technically, that's a type of
Voices.
content.
And then I was like, oh
Yeah.
right, the like the growing career I have, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I also am a voice actor. I do voice acting. I'm not yet in anything that most people that you probably would have heard of, but one day we're getting there.
One
Exactly.
day? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, man.
We're gonna hold you to that. We're gonna be like, we knew him when.
Yeah,
It's
you
true.
can all point
Don't
back to
forget
this
about
podcast
us.
and be like, that's that guy who voices that guy.
I don't
Yeah, you see that
remember
guy?
him,
That's
but
my
yeah.
friend.
I've never met that guy in my life. But that's what I was gonna say. All right. So, I guess with that, how did you guys, Freddie? How did you get your start? We'll start with you. How did you get your
Okay.
start in the FGC, and like, what got you interested in fighting games?
Sure. So I think what first got me interested in fighting games, like growing up, I played a bunch of Smash. But that like for me was always. I'm saying this not to word it as like Smash isn't a fighting game. I'm just saying that for me, I played that growing up, and it was competitive for me with like my friends. But I think what got me more into the FGC, like the fighting game community version of it, was that I saw when I was in college, Skullgirls came out, and I was like, not even about. I wasn't even interested in the fighting game part of it necessarily. I was like, this is a really cool art style. These are really cool character designs. So I started playing that. I was like, this is fun. Somewhere along the line, Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition like went on sale on PC, and I was like, I'll buy this too. And I played that. And I was like, I like sitting in the training mode and just doing lab stuff. This is neat for me. And then later on, I think when I like finally started getting into the community side of it, was Street Fighter 5 released, and I was like, okay, it released literally 2 days before my birthday. I was like, this is my birthday present to myself. I'm gonna have started this game since it came out. So this feels like a good like entry point, as I can be like at the start of this like next wave of fighting games. I was living in South Carolina at the time. I started going to my locals a little bit, but then kind of tapered off a little bit again. Fast forward years later, I moved to Chicago, where there's a significantly bigger fighting game scene. Like my locals in South Carolina were like in the corner of like a card game shop. And now I'm like in Chicago, and like Combo Breaker is here, like Frosty Faustings is here. Like my
Oh,
my
lucky.
local is I know, right? My local is like at a gaming lounge with like an entire like ballroom dedicated to fighting games. And I think that's like the point where I'm like, yeah, this is the point where I'm like in it now and like having a good time.
Hey.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty blessed, honestly.
Yeah, man. I
Sounds
know.
pretty sick.
I know. For me, like I never, like I didn't start. I really haven't started taking fighting games too seriously until recently.
Yeah.
I mean, like I've tried before, but I never stuck with anything. Mostly because I would just get too angry when I was younger. And like that's a big factor in I think learning to play fighting games.
Yeah,
But,
is salt control. You gotta
Yeah,
you gotta know when to step away for a little bit because it just like loops in on itself. You just get tilted, you do worse now, you get more angry about it.
I mean, not only that, but learn. Well, I would say, of course, yeah, salt management, anger management, huge helpful in terms of like me actually learning to get better at fighting games, and not only that, but like growing up, I never had people around me that were any good. You know, like
Programming at the self-report, making the choice to have
That's me.
that's you.
Yeah, that's
You-
me. You're good.
Okay.
I already paused it. Yep, you're good.
You know, I never had anybody around me or like any locals or anything like that. So it was it's cool now that, you know, I've kind of met like FGC, TikTok, and like got into like the Tekken community, you know, starting to meet a lot of like good players and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I
It's
think it's
such a different experience to play with someone that you know as opposed to just like blindly slamming your wall against ranked queue and just like getting matched up with like just nameless people and like you win or you lose and then they're gone forever.
Yeah.
It's so much nicer to be able to like sit and talk with someone as you're playing with them and like have a good time, have fun, banter, maybe ask what you're doing wrong, what they're exploiting. It's nice.
And then
They're
they respond,
always
don't
gone
get hit.
instantly.
Yeah,
Right?
and then
Like-
that happens. It's like, well, okay.
Sometimes they leave a nice little tasteful message on your profile or something.
Yeah, sometimes you get that. Sometimes you get hate mail.
The Xbox Live days.
Ah.
Good times.
Drew, how did you get started with fighting games?
Me? I got started through one moment. I'm gonna need a drink for this one. Not really. I just wanted to drink.
Wait. Did you ask him what he does too?
Yeah,
You just
what's
skipped over the
what's
first
what's-
time.
No,
what's
we
Drew's
didn't-
whole
Didn't
background?
backlog.
Give me your
We
history.
actually,
said-
skipped over him a little bit here.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
I
you
said
didn't ask him what he did. You asked.
What do you
Freddie
mean?
Papa what he did.
Remember, I said Freddy could go first before he
I
could
said-
say I could go first.
Wait. I said
Yeah.
I said to him, how did you get started? Wait, are you saying who you are? Is that are you saying I skipped over that? Because Freddie
Yeah.
seemed like he was speaking for both of you.
Well, in that
Okay.
case, no, he wasn't.
Okay,
Sorry, but
Drew.
I did plug a few things that like we were
Please.
like what we had in common, but I do,
Scandalous.
Go
It's
ahead.
okay.
Tell us who you
no,
are.
no,
He's not too offended.
I've got no issue. I'm not even offended slightly. Don't worry. Things like this happen. Hi, my name is King Drew. Nice to meet y'all. I'm someone who makes mostly cosplay content on TikTok. I also love fighting games. I love just talking about assorted video games. On top of that, I stream on Twitch, and from time to time, I do like my voice things from time to time. Not as consistently as Freddy over here, but like sometimes I just like to mess around and do funny voices.
Right.
hmm And as for how I got started in the FGC, it was actually through Super Smash Brothers.
Okay.
It was I want to say it was 2013, 2012. I was like getting into Super Smash Brothers Brawl, and then my friend was like one of my friends who played the game a lot along with me was like, "Yo, dude, there's a competitive scene." And I was like people play this game competitively, like for money and stuff. I was like, "Yeah, dude." And that's how I sort of found out about, like the Smash Bros side of the FGC. I played a lot of Smash 4. Falco and DK were like
Hell yeah.
my mains
Okay, so
Oh,
back
yeah.
then. hmm
Pillar,
So fun.
pillar.
It's just a shame that once you get him in the air, he can't really get back down.
But he's still
Such-
like once he like I just love charging his punch and then just headbutting people and just blasting them. It's so
You just
satisfying.
shield break them.
Yep, clapping or
Yeah.
just like doing the double fist off the. Anyway, yeah, it's fun.
But yeah, being in the Smash Bros. Community was a lot of fun. I still am in some regards. Like I still like to root for my scene and all that. Shout out 404 Esports, by the way, y'all the greatest. But after that, I wasn't really enjoying Smash Ultimate. Like I realized that's like one of the first times I realized that a fighting game just wasn't for me. I realized I wasn't really enjoying Smash Ultimate. I wasn't liking the direction it was going. I still watch people play. It just wasn't for me. So after that, I tried to look at other fighting games, and one that caught my eye was DBFZ because I was like, you know what? I like Dragon Ball Z. A Dragon Ball Z fighting game? Sure, why not? It ended up becoming one of my favorite games that I love to talk about consistently. I made a bunch of TikToks out of it. I even made a bunch of TikToks about different games like Marvel vs. Capcom, Guilty Gear, because I fell in love with Guilty Gear later on, like a little bit later on after DBSZ, and a bunch of more, how you say, traditional fighting games. And that helped me realize, like, especially when I was in high school and going to MomoCon, like, there's a huge fighting game scene in Atlanta. I really didn't think it was that big until I realized, wait, that's right, we have the MomoCon tournament. We have final round that takes place in the fall. Climax of the Night takes place here. That's the fighting game tournament with all like with Melty Blood and a bunch of other niche anime fighters.
Like French bread game, especially.
Yeah, the French bread games especially. I didn't realize that we hosted those until I want to say a year or two back. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and that's sort of how I make content. And then I got a couple eyes on me, and then I got asked to make content for Combo Breaker, which was just sort of like I had to scream into my pillow for a few minutes, but
surreal.
What was it this year?
It was this year. It was so surreal. I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And then, along with having a couple eyes on me, this was well before the Combo Breaker thing. Phil, of course, found out about me because he mainly does fighting game content on TikTok. And, he asked me if I wanted to, be in a group and meet a bunch of people like Log and Freddy, and that's how I met you guys. And now we have this tournament for DNF Duel. We're trying to pool money to for dueling cancer, as it's literally called. Oh, by the way, if you wanna donate some of your money, I got the link right here in chat for y'all in Backlogs chat.
Much appreciated.
But as for the DNF Duel thing, I've been looking at there's a lot of characters I've been looking at, but the main four so far are Kunoichi, Ghostblade, Hitman, and Gunslinger. Those have been the main four that I'm looking at. Oh, and also I guess I'm kind of known on TikTok for my cosplays, having using a do-rag and stuff like that, and also being able to voice like one of the all-time greatest villains ever in anime. So that's fun.
Yeah, man. I actually I went on Sonic Soul's not podcast, but his
Sorry about that. Continue.
his Twitch, and I was like, hey, who should I play? And he gave me like a list of characters. I was like, oh, thanks, because he's got the influencer day one option select,
right?
Which is, I don't. Does anybody do any of you have the game early? No.
Nope.
Not in New York.
I'm not. I don't live in New York. I don't got that kind of privilege.
Oh,
Max
man.
was playing it a little bit last night.
I did tune into that a tiny bit.
Yeah, it does look fun. I'll probably pick it up at some point.
It looks very fun. I'm picking up day one.
I can't wait until.
It looks like they sped it up.
We gotta.
Yeah, it looks super broken.
Oh, it looks super, super broken. Yeah.
And I love it.
All right. So
you won't when Inquisitor wheel hits.
This one, I'm gonna ask you both this question, and I promise both of you. I have to say, so after watching both your videos, you guys seem very confident speaking on camera. Do you guys have any background in being on stage or public speaking that you think helped being on TikTok? I know Freddie had mentioned doing improv before.
Drew, you can go first.
Do it.
Alright. Most of my confidence from trying to speak on stage and stuff came from the fact that I've been going to church since I was a child. So there was stuff that I got how do you say, quote unquote, voluntold that I need to participate in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if anyone's active in their churches, they know what that's like. But like aside from that, most of the confidence I gained from just speaking and stuff like that came from the fact that, when I was 18, I got a fresh new computer for my birthday. I was like, I should try doing Twitch streaming over the summer. And, that's something I do consistently now. So it was just sort of like me learning new things and stuff about myself. It took a while, and I'm still working on it. But, it's sort of, it's something you have to work on sooner or later.
Yeah. And like you said, that I said, I've done a lot of improv comedy since like I think my junior year of college was when I started doing it, and then I have been doing it since, like a little bit less now because of the way that the world is, but I still do it. In college, I was also I was also a bit of a theater kid. I did a theater minor. So I did some shows. I did a bunch of that kind of stuff. So I think that's kind of like where I get most of it. Really, is just like improv is especially just so helpful because it like you have to think of words as you say them, and that like doing just reps and practice of that is just like so useful for so many things.
I know for me, like one thing I struggle with is when I make videos, I have to constantly do takes on what I'm saying, like over and over again, because I get so nervous when I'm speaking into the microphone, even though I'm just recording it on the side. You know what I mean? So I think like, the podcast has definitely helped, but I don't know, like maybe it's just just a confidence thing that takes time. But yeah, I don't know. Did you have any tips on that or anything like that I could steal from you?
I mean, I still I also still like when I'm recording videos, it's so funny because like weirdly enough for me, when it's being recorded, I feel more pressure than when
Yeah.
I'm doing it live. Because like with improv, I very much feel like whatever there's a philosophy in improv where it's like whatever you did, it's the right thing. And it's just like it doesn't matter if it's like something dumb or silly. Like the rest of your group is going to support you, and it's going to seem like you had it planned all along. Whereas like if I'm recording a video, it's like I have a script. I know what I am supposed to be saying.
Yeah.
And that's when I start to get tripped up. And like,
Wait, you have a
it'll
script
take me-
for your videos?
I have ideas.
Dude, I'm like you. Like most of my stuff is just off the rip.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
here's the
lie.
thing. It's like I will I write the script as I film the video, where I'm like I say the sentence, and then I'm like that's not what I wanted to say. Okay, now I know what I want to say, and then I try to say that, and then sometimes it takes a few takes before I like don't like stumble over the words or something. But so honestly, like it's really just reps. It's just like as you do it more, you get better at it. It's just like an experience thing.
And
It's like lifting weights.
yeah.
But just practice backlog, always, forever.
And I think I know what you're saying, because for me, it's like that doesn't sound like how I would want to say it.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And then
Yeah.
or you didn't like the way you said it. Like that doesn't sound right. And then you kind of work it out. Like okay, there you go. That's what I want.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then now, okay, so I'm gonna go into specifics now. So I'm gonna start with Freddie. I got 3 questions for the both of you. So, as a talented individual who has his hand in voice acting, making skits, fighting games, and D&D, do you find it difficult to choose what to invest time in? I know for me, I tend to have like multiple interests, so I get paralyzed by choice.
Yeah, absolutely. I am constantly being like, I don't have enough time to do all the stuff that I'm trying to do. I did just make it harder on myself by now running a D&D campaign, because that's a different workload than playing in one. So it's like it's a tough thing to walk of like time management and of deciding what to do. Like I definitely do not post on TikTok like super frequently. Like if I'm lucky, like right now, I'll post like once a week. And
wow.
get stuff out like that, because it's just like I also like I have work. Like I work at 9 to 5, and it's like I work from home right now, so like I'll like use my lunch break sometime to like film a video or do something or like try to do that. But it's like there's so much stuff going on. I definitely don't my locals are weeklies, and I definitely don't get to go to them every week because like sometimes I'm like Friday afternoons are like one of the only afternoons I have off. Sometimes I'll go to my locals. Sometimes I'll like record and edit a video. Sometimes I will just like take a night off, which is a very important thing. Anyone watching this, prioritize taking time. Drew, you sit back up and you schedule time off for
Bye.
yourself, okay?
Bye.
That is like it feels like wasting time. It is essential because otherwise you burn out so fast.
Yeah, you gotta have something to work towards, just like normal people that work 9 to 5s in the weekend. You know.
Yeah. It's like you gotta. What I try to do is I try to figure out what days I'm going to like. This is gonna be the day that I'm like cranking out auditions for voice acting. This is gonna be the day that I like record like a video. This is gonna be the day that like I do this other thing. I have D&D on these days. Like I specifically made a rule for myself that I can't play D&D more than 3 times a week. That is like my absolute cap. Because if
What
I
a
do it more
horrible
than
rule.
that, then I don't have time for anything else. So it's like it is very tough to like juggle all these things. This is like, and sometimes you have to look at a thing and say, I know that I don't have time to do this to its fullest extent. Like some of the sacrifices I make is like I don't always put out videos on TikTok as frequently as I like, and like that's unfortunate, but like I that's the schedule that I have, and like I don't like I play fighting games for fun, and I know that I'm probably not going to be like reaching like top 8 at like Eva or a combo breaker. And I've decided that's probably like reaching like top level gameplay is probably not going to be my goal because I don't have the time to invest into like that level of stuff. So it's like it's very much a like picking your battles type of thing. You have to look at what you have, what time you have allotted to yourself, and how you want to spend it. This was a very rambly explanation, but
No, not at all. Like that's literally our podcast. So
Yeah, we ramble forever.
yeah.
We should really like rename it the Ramblecast, to be honest.
Ramble, 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 ramble.
Throw that in
Rambling,
the
off
podcast.
topic,
it's been taken.
segues. We're great at that, just segueing into random topics.
Take time off, Drew.
Segueing out of random topics is where we have it.
Because I know for me
That's where we struggle.
like with like me, I post a lot of gameplay footage, and that's great. But I also want to make original content. But I like it's always very difficult for me to choose, like feel like know what I want to make. Like I've never seen something I'm like I want that, and then just go for it. You know what I mean? I kind of have to try things out, even though I mean even if I'm not completely interested in it. So it's like it's been very kind of a little challenging for me, I'd say.
I would say that's part of
yeah,
content
I'll
creating,
say-
though. Just doing the spaghetti toss at the wall.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, you just have to like find your footing, find your what you really want to do, what you really want to make. You know.
Yeah,
Fair.
I'll say some
gonna take
spaghetti that
time.
I've thrown at the wall that has not sticked is that there was like a period for a while where I was trying to be like more of a consistent like Twitch streamer where I had a schedule of like Monday, Wednesday, or like I think it was Monday and Thursday. I would like stream visual novels and like stuff like that on Twitch.
Mhm.
And then I realized that I didn't enjoy it, and it made playing games feel like work for me. Where I was like, I'm
Oh.
taking this game that I should be enjoying, and I'm now turning it into like a job for myself. And I understand like a lot of people like Twitch streaming consistently is a lot of fun and they enjoy it, and that's great. I had to find out that for me, I don't enjoy like trying to keeping myself to like a rigid streaming schedule. That's just something that isn't going to work for me. So now like I stream every once in a while of being like, tonight I feel like doing this, and then I'll do it and I'll have a good time and it'll be fun. But like it's again like having to like there's so many things that you can do at any given point. You have to just figure out which ones you're enjoying, which ones are working for you, and decide what you want to commit your time to.
Nice.
Let's see. So, how did you get into voice acting? Was there, and I'm gonna add on to that. Was there any
Mhm.
media or voice actors in general that inspired you?
Sure. So I have been interested, like since I was a child, I've been interested in voice actors. Where I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like I like would grow up on like, like Saturday morning cartoon, like Kids WB, like Fox Box, like
Mhm.
Toonami,
Eli Me
like
for
all
real.
that good stuff.
Or
Yeah.
Kids TV. Yep.
Yes,
4Kids
sir.
TV,
4Kids,
yeah.
especially four
man.
kids.
Man,
Sits out for
it's
One Piece.
exactly.
Yeah, yo,
Let me tell
yeah,
you.
yo.
Let me tell you. I will say, 4Kids dubs sure did have their drawbacks, but
Mhm.
one thing I miss what is 4Kids openings, like the English like 4Kids like original music that they would make for their openings. That like you don't get the Pokemon theme anymore, like that
Right.
that
It was
doesn't
banging.
happen anymore, and I do kind of miss that.
Wasn't it like supposedly like Michael Jackson doing part of the first Pokemon opening? Like I want to be the very best or something like that. I heard a rumor. I don't know if
forgot
that's
this. No, I think I
confirmed,
have heard this rumor this as
Yeah.
well. Like you just
Yeah.
like sparked a memory that's like buried deep in the back of my brain, but I think I remember hearing that. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah. That first
Um,
opening was a banger though. For
Yeah.
But for every Pokemon, there's
course.
a One Piece is the problem. Or 3 One Pieces, like
You know what's funny about that is that there's somebody. Okay, so I posted. Is it like One Piece, the PS2 like One Piece game, Pirate, maybe Pirate Carnival or something? Grand Battle. Okay, it was Grand Battle.
What
So
about it?
in Grand Battle, the opening to that game is a different version of the theme song of the cartoon show. And someone was like, "Oh, this is extremely rare. Where did you find this?" And it's like, "Oh, it's just I don't know why, but they use like two different like slightly different versions of the song. I don't know, that's some like nerd stuff, but still, I thought it was kind of
apocryphy,
interesting.
some lost media stuff right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Like, you can't find it really.
The alternate version of the One Piece theme song. Ah, beautiful.
Everyone needs
finally.
Wild.
it.
Yeah,
But
but
no,
yeah,
like
so
songs back then were bangers. Like the Sonic X theme song.
the Sonic X theme song,
Oh.
The way that
I
is
think
ingrained into my
that I
brain.
still have those lyrics in my
Yeah.
brain.
That and the Sonic Sat AM opening.
Oh,
Anyone who watched
Sonic
Sonic
Sat
Sat
AM.
Yes, that was my favorite.
Banger. Great
I
show,
also-
great opening. Oh,
Shame they never finished it.
well, it was getting a little too dark for the kiddies, I feel.
What
Yeah.
were you saying,
But
Freddie?
just like genocide? Yeah, sure, let's go for it.
But yeah, so I grew up on a lot of that, and I would do a lot of stuff where I would be like oh, like this voice actor voiced this character, but also like this character and also this character. It was a lot of Steve Bloom. It was a lot of being like, oh, Steve Bloom was like Zabuza, but also Orochimaru in Naruto, and like
Mhm.
Liam
Like-
O'Brien was one that I like eyed a lot of, like, oh, he was Gara, but he was also these other things. I mean, like a lot of the people like Yuri Lowenthal, Laura Bailey, like the
Johnny Young
people who
Bosch?
like, yeah, Johnny Young Bosch, like
Johnny
the
Young
people who
Bosch,
like
yeah.
just they were in every show, and like
Yeah.
you could be
Tara
like,
Strong.
oh, Tara Strong,
Tara
is
Strong,
still
definitely.
in everything.
Goddess.
She was literally throughout my entire childhood.
Yeah, it's like Tara Strong and Gray Delisle Griffin is like, if it's not one, it was the other, like 100%.
Yep.
But
Lucy
then-
Christian.
Mhm.
She was in a bunch of anime back then.
I'm trying to think of another voice actor. Oh, Kevin Michael Richardson. Definitely Kevin Michael
Yeah,
Richardson.
yeah.
Mhm.
Voice of
But
Trigon and many others.
but it's just like I would like have a lot of fun like tracking like them across like casts of different shows and all that stuff. And then I like grew up with this like philosophy, like this thought process of like, oh, they're voice actors. They're like these magical, like otherworldly people who lend their voices to our cool cartoons, and that's neat. And it wasn't until like years later, like literally 3 or 4 years ago today, where I saw I love telling the story because it's so dumb. I saw a video that Joe Zija retweeted on Twitter. He is the voice actor of Claude in Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Ooh.
But he retweeted a video where someone took a scene from Fire Emblem Three Houses that had Claude in it, and they overdubbed it with a McDonald's commercial that Joe Zija had done. So it's just like lip sync to like Claude, like just giving out, like just saying like McDonald's copy to Hilda, like in the corner, being like, "What is going on?"
This meme has layers.
Right.
It has
and
layers to it.
somehow that video was what made it click for me in my brain that, oh, voice acting is a job that normal people do. Like, this is like, sure, he's the voice of like this like fantasy character in like the Fire Emblem series, but also he's like over here just like the Big Mac for like $2.99. And I'm like, oh, this like
Claude works at McDonald's. It's canon.
yeah,
You love to
exactly.
see you
So
smile.
at that point, I was like, I looked it up and like I was like, I'm in Chicago. Like, of course, there's fucking acting schools here. And I like looked it up, and there's like acting studio Chicago. They do introduction, intermediate, advanced voice acting classes. So I
Awesome.
signed up there, and then I took a few classes, got some equipment, kept taking workshops from like various people online. Like, all turns out, if you look, like roughly like half of your favorite like voice actors like teach classes. Like I've taken a class, like I'm trying to think of who I took. I took a class from Sonny Strait, the voice actor of Krillin and Usopp.
And Lupin the
Um,
Third and
yes.
Joker and Fire Force.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I took a class with Cassandra Lee
Joker and
Morris,
Fire
who
Force?
is
Yeah, that threw me off when I found out because I was like, he usually voices like the most goofiest people, and then he's over here, like voicing a complete psychopath.
yeah.
But he's kind of a goofy psychopath, you know?
Yeah, I guess so. It works out in the end.
Yeah. So I taken a class with like 2 classes with Cassandra Lee Morris, who she's Morgana in Persona, and Elfelt and Guilty Gear in the when Elfelt was dubbed into English
In Sign.
Oh,
for
nice.
Sign. Yeah. And it's just like I got some demos done. My character demo I got directed by Kira Buckland, which was I was trying not to
Oh
fucking
my
lose my
God.
shit over the
That's
I would have
cool.
lost it.
but it turns out it's such a moment of like coming to understand that these aren't like fantasy creatures. They're just like people with jobs. Like you
Right.
pay someone $100, they direct your demo. Like this is just like this is a job. It's a career. This is what people do.
But it's major
And
because
like,
they've motivated you to like do this.
yeah, and it's like, okay, wow, this is cool. So now here I am with like equipment, and like there's my booth that I record in over there.
Nice.
And it's just like now I audition for stuff. I'm working on getting an agent.
Hey.
Yeah. I mean, like it's really a lot of throwing auditions just out into the void. And then like sometimes stuff comes back and sometimes it doesn't. But that's fine. That's just part of the process. It's fun because like every once in a while I get like I find a fighting game audition, and I like my adrenaline spikes through the roof, and I'm like, let's go. Here we are.
Get it.
Exactly. I haven't landed one yet, but
Oh,
it's like it's fine. And like it's also cool to just it's exciting just getting auditions that like I wouldn't have like thought about getting before, you know? It's like I recently like got an audition for a game where I was like, this is a game that I was planning on playing when it came out. Like this is like something that this is like it's cool. It's cool. It's
Very
fun.
cool.
it sounds really cool.
So I don't know have you ever had like what's the weirdest commission if you've had one that you've ever gotten, or if anyone, and if not, like have you ever had to turn a commission down?
Sure. So I thankfully haven't had someone try to commission for me for something that I just was not comfortable doing. So that's been fine. I would say like not the weirdest, but like the most interesting one that I've had was I had someone on Twitter who reached out to me because he wanted me to just voice his OCs, just like his original characters. He was like, I'm writing these people and I'm kind of at a roadblock, and I like what you do and your work. If I send you some lines, can you voice them back for me? And then like like that will help me shape these characters into like it'll give me like another like layer to them that I can use to like build on who they're going to be. And I was like, hell yeah.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
a really cool project.
So
That's neat. Yeah.
So I did that. He gave me two characters. One was kind of a like almost like a Dante type, like a very chill, like laid back, like
Yahoo
ruckus
Pizza Man.
causer who was just out there to like
Yahoo
cause
Pizza.
trouble, but like have a good time doing it. And another one who was kind of like a more brooding, like
Swallowing glass just to stay pure.
yeah, like almost like
Some real
like,
classic
I-
ghost.
I-
Like
scenes.
Virgil? Like Virgil
Push
or
up
something?
glasses on nose. To
yeah,
look
it was just
cool.
like my like closest thing in my brain that I like used as a reference when I was like thinking of what to do was like Reaper from Overwatch, where it's like that kind of like darker, like edgy thing.
I
But-
would have said Death from Darksiders. That would have been a better example.
Oh, that's also like a similar thing, yeah.
Yeah.
But like I think that was like the most interesting thing where I was like, wow, you want me to like help inspire who your characters are going to be. This
Yeah.
is cool. This is awesome.
Shape their destiny.
Yeah,
very,
right. No,
very
it's
cool, like
really
meta
cool.
creative thing.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think, yeah, and like I think those and like whenever I get fighting game auditions, I'm like, let's fucking go, because I did auditions for. I auditioned for Serial Killers. I auditioned for Blazing Strike. I auditioned for Merfights. And like these were all like open auditions. So like there's so many people who like go for those. Like there's absolutely like nothing bad or like no like hard feelings or me like being upset about not being cast in those. But it's just like it's so cool to just like even have the chance and the opportunity to like throw my hat in the ring.
Would you ever do like an audiobook if like someone asked you to do that too?
No. The short answer is no, because like nothing against audiobooks or like the people who do them because they do a really great job. I personally am not. I don't know if I'm willing to sit down and just like record for like hours and hours and hours for this one project. Like,
Yeah.
Damn.
People who do audiobooks are tough. Like they are absolute
They're
champs.
Built
They
different.
They're
I
sitting in the studio getting a whole flipping like 3-5 chapters, and it's gonna take them like hours and hours on end.
But like I'm sure it pays like pretty well, like relative like to some other voice acting stuff. But like they are
Probably.
champs. Like I have one friend who does pretty regular audio book work, and I truly don't know how they do it. Like it's good for them. Good for them.
I mean,
not for me.
I'm really bummed to hear you say that because I was gonna have you, Andrew, voice my DBZ fan fiction. So
Well, look, every rule is defined by its exception. If you,
Right.
If you give me a topic that I'm passionate about, like DBZ fanfiction, then boy howdy, I am on it.
awesome.
Right, let me hear this out. Hold on.
I mean, we've already got a Frieza, so
We're gonna exactly Frieza gold blue. I don't know. Okay, and
Workshop it.
workshopping it. It's still a rough draft.
He's a purple too.
Purple too. And I guess like the only other thing is I actually listened to. Have you ever listened to Voice Acting Mastery before, the podcast?
yes, with Crispin Freeman, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
I listened to
took a
that.
class- he
Wait,
was one of the
Crispin
first-
Freeman?
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
I took a class with him too.
Yeah,
I think that was the first like workshop that I took with an actor, like outside of like when I finished like the first like few introductory voice acting classes I did. I was like, Crispin Freeman has his class. He like it like sells out like pretty fast, like every month or so. I'm gonna be on top of it. And I took it, and I was like, this is cool. This is neat.
Yeah, he seems like a really cool guy.
Yeah.
And I don't even have any interest in voice acting. I just listen to the podcast just to, well, like in doing voice acting, but I have an interest to know how it works.
Right.
Which is like again awesome. Why I get to, pick your brain, and then also, like I said, I'm also interested in cosplay, or at least I was at one point, which is why, of course, I get to talk to Drew as well. So speaking of which, we can move on to Drew. What made you get into making cosplay, and why did you choose such an expensive hobby, dude?
The reason I picked such an expensive hobby is because I hate myself. No, I'm kidding.
Oh man, big agree. I only pick expensive
I
hobbies.
feel that as a collector.
No.
Cosplay is not for the weak.
It's really not. Okay, so here's the thing. Most of my actually maybe I should talk about this first. Like I first got into cosplay because actually this video game is one of the many reasons why I love what I love, especially like the content that I absorb. When I was transitioning from middle to high school, one of my favorite games of all time, it was actually still is Team Fortress 2. Absolutely love that game to
I played
tears.
so much TF2.
So many hours. I'm pretty sure I got about 1,000 hours clocked into that game.
I think it's still my most played game on Steam. I haven't played it in years, but that's
Meme
just
generator.
how much time I put into it.
Because like when you have a PC and you're broken, you're in high school and you have some off time, you just really don't know what to do. So I was like, Team Fortress 2, this looks interesting. Downloads it in 2012, and just nothing was the same after that. Heck, one time I used my dad's credit card and bought a couple of hats. I had to pay him back for that.
Oh no.
True.
You're part of the problem.
I know.
This was pre-loot box era, right?
This I mean, I guess they were kind of doing it before the whole loot box thing. Because here's the thing.
Drops, right?
Yeah, because like Team Fortress 2 was never pay to win. Never ever was it pay to win. You could get all the items like that were in the game naturally.
Yeah.
It was just like buying stuff so you could make yourself look cool.
If you wanted those cosmetics, those strange hats.
Those
Strange hats. But back on topic. I actually cosplayed a few Team Fortress 2 characters back when I was in high school. Because in high school I learned about MomoCon, which is, big convention that happens in Atlanta, unfortunately around the same time as Combo Breaker.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So one of my first cosplays I ever did actually was the Scout from Team Fortress 2. My favorite class, favorite character.
Awesome.
I love Chili of Destiny. He's such a cool guy. And he's also partly the reason why I kind of wanted to get into voice acting. Him and a couple other people who like worked on Team Fortress 2. But yeah, I cosplayed him, then I cosplayed the Sniper, then the Medic. I don't think I've cosplayed anyone else from TF2 outside of that. But yeah, I did that in high school. And then after that, I, sort of dropped the whole cosplay thing, decided to focus on school. And then I learned about the unfortunate app that is TikTok back during the pandemic.
All right. The before times. Okay.
The way back when.
The way back when. But yeah, it was like, pandemic just hit 2020. I had nothing to do, so I'm like, screw it, I will download this stupid app. Worst mistake of your life, by the way. Don't do that.
Ow.
Still don't have it.
But if you do, make sure to follow me and Drew
and Backlog and everybody else here.
I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have to,
just
but
to give you
should.
guys follows. I don't know.
Yeah, but anyways, I saw like, of course, I already knew about cosplaying through like people on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. But I was, maybe I should get back into it. So I a lot of my cosplays really weren't that good, and then I like started managing to rake my money together through like the different jobs I took, and sort of got into that. And I thought, I'm really not feeling some of these cosplays. So why don't I add a little bit of a twist to it? Henceforth, why I use a do-rag in a lot of them. Because I thought it was cool, and besides that, I don't like wearing wigs. That's one of the main reasons I got a do-rag. I don't like wearing wigs.
It's way better than a wig. It's cheaper. It looks better.
Basically,
you gotta add your own flavor too. I mean,
yeah, exactly. You gotta add your own flavor to it. But yeah, essentially, it's very expensive. Like I definitely like save up my money, and how I plan my cosplays is like, do I have what I need to do this fit? Because like I have a couple of suits and stuff like that because I've been going to church since I was a kid. So like I'm like, okay, so if I want to do this cosplay, do I have what I need? Do I have it already? Okay, fine, I can do it now. Do I need to buy anything for it? Is it too expensive? Okay, putting that on the back burner.
Yeah.
That's basically how I work.
Do you think like do you think it's bad? Do you make any of your cosplays, or do you mostly just buy them then?
They're mostly bought. I do not have the patience to like hand make a lot of my stuff. I don't have that kind of patience. But props to those props to those who do make all their like costumes, like all y'all who are basically seamstresses and prop makers who use nothing but PVC and fabric and all that. You guys are incredible.
Home artists.
Yes.
Every time I see like a progress like when usually for me it's like when I see like Kamui cosplay like do like one of her like progress things where it's like she makes like full like Monster Hunter armor, and I'm like,
Yes.
geez.
I think
Dude,
I've seen her on
Monster Hunter
Instagram.
cosplayers are a
Oh.
different breed.
These
They
people like
are.
the
They're
MacGyvers, the MacGyvers
insane.
of cosplay, like the Tony Starks of cosplay. Like
The
in the
amount of
basement
detail.
with a
Yeah,
box
like
of scrap.
in a cave with a
Of
screwdriver
cosplay.
and like a block of EVA foam, and they turn it
They
into
make me
something.
like secondhand proud to be like a Monster Hunter fan. Like, oh, these people just go the extra freaking mile. Oh my god, they're
Right.
so amazing.
Oh my god.
Like there's a Monster Hunter cosplayer I follow out there. What's her name? Katana Vada. Her stuff is awesome, and like I don't know how people do it. I don't know how y'all do it.
It's
What is
amazing.
what? Teach me your ways.
Hours, days, months.
Years.
Yep. I don't know how y'all even have time to
Years.
play Monster Hunter while you're working on these.
That's the secret. They don't.
That's my secret. Like I spend time making so much fighting game content. I don't always have time to play the games.
Right.
That's what Twitch is for. You can just throw it up on the background while you're
Exactly.
working
I
on
just
your cosplay.
enjoy it. I appreciate. I'm a
Exactly.
spectator sometimes.
You don't have to play video games anymore. You can watch other people play video games for you. It's great.
It's always fun.
Okay, well, is it mostly you that chooses your cosplay, or is it like your fans? or the people-
Sometimes I will like if I figure out that I have two cosplays that I can like scrap together and make some content out of it. I'm like, okay, who do y'all want to see first? Because I can do both of these like right now or like sometime in the future. So which of these do like y'all want to see? I'll put like out votes for it on like my Instagram and on my Twitter and stuff like that, and they'll decide, and I'll be like, okay, bet. That is unless something else comes along and I'm just like, wait, never mind, I can make this. Sorry, y'all, I'm canceling this vote. Sorry.
Cancelled. And then I suppose, lastly, how did the whole Frieza voice thing happen? Because I feel like it was like I've seen the videos, multiple videos of people using your voiceover of Frieza, and I didn't even know it was you until like you had mentioned that, you know, you're the Frieza voiceover guy. And it's always like crazy how like with TikTok videos, some people you don't even know, like people, how many people don't get credit for actually like what they do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a lot of their content is just straight up ripped off.
Definitely. I've had a couple of videos stolen, just put on Instagram for other people to just collect followers and stuff off of. It's annoying.
Damn,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's trashy.
very trashy.
So how did that whole thing start anyway? How did that happen?
Okay. How the Frieza voice initially got started was one night, late at night, I was doing a stream where I was playing Nier Automata, right?
Yep.
And there's a scene in Nier Automata where 9S is sort of talking to this like other being, you don't know who this person is at this point, through like a sort of visual novel sort of standpoint where it's just like text scrolling down the screen. So I decided to give this person like an evil, like sniveling voice, right? And someone in my chat mentioned, "Hey, you know, that sounds a lot like Frieza." I'm just like, wait, I can do a Frieza voice? Huh, I can do a Frieza voice. So like, you know, I did it as a joke on and off of my stream sometimes. And then I got on TikTok and I was like, wait, there's plenty of anime like content creators on this app. So I decided to take a scene from like, 1 second, let me do something real quick. Hold on.
Oh gosh.
Yo,
Oh.
he's got props.
We're getting the full
He's
suite.
he's
Hold
gonna
on.
come back like in a full Frieza outfit.
Hold on. I
Yeah.
have this guy with
I
me.
feel like I'm on like
There we
Who's Line.
go.
What?
So I took that, you know, that clip of Boondocks where it's like, he was gay. Why am I supposed to apologize? I saw gay, so I said gay. It's not bullying, it's a stupid observation. And I put
Boondocks. Yeah.
and Boondocks is great. And I put a Frieza twist on it where what I said? I said, no, because why do I need to apologize for calling the Saiyans monkeys? They have a tail, so I say monkey. It's not racist, it's just an astute observation. And people enjoy
Pretty great. Pretty great. Like
Yeah.
a
That's a good one.
multi-level meme. It's got layers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know what's
Those are the
what's
best
funny,
ones.
and you know, the current Frieza voice actor unfortunately passed away recently.
Yeah, Christopher Aries. I was
Yeah.
pretty broken when I heard the news.
Yeah, man. I was thinking you actually sound a lot like him. Not gonna lie.
Actually, when I first started doing the Frieza voice, I got a couple comments asking me if I was Little Karibo, aka like the voice of Frieza in Team 4 Stars Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Oh, is that who?
And
Is it
That's
Little
high
Karibo
praise.
that
That is.
voices
Yeah.
Frieza?
Yeah, he voices Frieza in TFS Dragon Ball Z Abridged stuff. And I was like, kind of. I'm not gonna lie, because like most people who grew up in the early 2000s with unrestricted access to the internet, like
Oh shit.
DBZ Abridged was like the funniest thing on the planet for a lot of us for a while.
Oh, hilarious.
And yeah, it's a story I greatly enjoyed. So just being able to do like Frieza's voice was I was honored, because people were just like, dog, this voice is way too good. I'm just like, really? Is the voice really that good? That's that's surprising. I'm like literally honored. That's so cool that people think that like the voice of like one of my favorite like tyrants in video games, or not video games, in anime. I guess anime and video games
Anime
is
and
just
video
that
games,
good.
Space Tyrant.
Games.
Yes.
Um,
But yeah, that's how I got started in the whole Frieza voice. I've even done it in tournament. Actually, speaking of, for the DNF Duel tournament, I'm actually adding an incentive for if we reach a certain goal. I think if we reach $1,000, I will actually invade the tournament commentary booth in my Frieza voice and try to commentate a couple matches.
Tournament of
That
Power.
would be awesome. You just have like a little Frieza like cosplay going while you're commenting.
I've been asked to actually get like a cosplay, like a Frieza bodysuit.
That would be
Oh, God.
hilarious.
Sounds expensive.
It is expensive. but like after that, it was just like, it was sort of like just the thing I do from time to time. I need to bring it back. It's been forever since I've used the voice. I need to bring it back.
All I can think of is like the Team 4-star like DBZ in like 5 minutes, like where like the Frieza, like you're just gonna look like the Frieza outfit guy. Like I don't know if you've seen that cosplay, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
did you guys hear that they're gonna do the Boo Saga? Like they
are?
they just announced they're gonna do the Boo Saga this week.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
They're actually
I
going
thought
to
they
do the Boo
confirmed they
Saga?
weren't going to, but that's
Right, I thought they
that's
said like
crazy.
years ago they would never do that.
They literally made a video on it this week. They released the trailer saying, "Oh, they're gonna do the Boo Saga."
Oh, I need to find this.
I
man.
do need to find this. But
gonna say-
They have footage of it too, so it's been made.
Great
I would-
anime parody is an art form.
Yeah.
Anyone who understands a show enough to understand like how inherently ridiculous most of the situations the characters get themselves in are.
Oh
amazing.
no!
Like,
No, I'm sorry. I said Team 4-star. I meant Mega 64. I'm sorry. No, I'm
Oh,
thinking
you
of
meant
Mega
Mega
64. My bad.
Oh,
My
okay.
bad.
Mega
That's what I
64
was-
is also cool.
Yeah, Mega
Yeah,
64 is
they do good stuff.
Dragon Ball in 5 minutes is really good. Also,
Gotcha.
Yeah. But here's another thing. I apparently
my bad.
I also do a decent version of Masako's Goku
Okay.
that I've been
Go
told by
on.
people. Like, hold on, let me think. What's like one of my favorite lines? There's that horse is what was the one? It's like, what? I don't steal moves. Actually, Goku, you do. Well, what about the Kamehameha? Oh, that was Master Roshi. What about the solar flare? That's mine, thanks. What about the Kyle? Goku, I'm right here. Don't you dare pull that.
Yeah, he
Oh,
literally steals
King
all of
Kai?
his moves. Yeah.
Did I make the
He
Kaioken?
uses other moves. You know?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
learns other moves.
Some of them are sloppy. Like I learned that one of the voices that is best for me, like the voices I can do, are usually like the short stacked villains or henchmen, or like Snively from Sonic Sat AM, or even like more high pitched characters like what's his
Where's your
name?
Garlic Jr.?
Not Garlic Jr.
Oh, man.
But I can also do voices like Wako from Animaniacs, so it's fun.
Yeah, man. That's awesome.
Nice.
I was gonna say right quick, Drew, if you need more pieces for your Frieza cosplay, I do have these.
Oh wow.
Hey,
when-
yo, hold
from when-
on!
from-
This man got the Frieza 500s.
This was when Adidas did like their
Fire.
Dragon Ball Z collaboration, and
Oh,
they
that's
put
awesome.
out legitimate Frieza sneakers.
That's
Oh,
Those
actually
are
really
pretty
cool.
fire.
Have you
though.
ever worn those?
fire.
I have, yeah, they're comfy.
Hashtag Frieza fit.
Hashtag Frieza fan. I might just do like a Frieza inspired suit one of these days. Who knows?
Dude, that would be hilarious. Have like
There
the
you go.
like her like Adidas like tracksuit like pants, but with like
Yeah.
Frieza colors.
Yeah.
I've got those, and then they also did Goku at some point too.
Oh,
and it
that's
has,
really
yeah,
like
of course.
this stuff.
Those are really nice.
They're just orange. Got it.
And they have a little like Chinese logo on.
That's the That's the hermit, the turtle hermit.
Yeah, the little
Yeah,
like,
the
logo on
turtle,
his
the turtle school
thing.
logo.
So with the guy, with that guy's, we're.
Oh wait, do we? Well, we're gonna ask him about the. I mean, we're segueing current events, right?
Go ahead and
Yeah.
ask him if you want. You had a question you want to
Oh
ask him?
yeah. No, well,
Does anybody have a question they want to ask him before we move on?
Well, no, like, weren't we gonna ask him specifically what he thinks about? I mean, as we segue into current events, I was gonna segue into one of the current events that's been popping up on everyone's feed last week. That is of the. Have you seen the Miles Morales What If Thor comic?
Oh, I could go on and on about everything
what
wrong with
is
that.
your opinion on that?
Okay. So does everyone here know about this comic?
August had told me a little bit about it, but
Okay,
I didn't get a chance to read it.
Okay, so basically,
I've heard about it, but
basically, I will lay down. It was a what if, where it was what if Miles Morales, the Black Spider-Man, had a crossover with Thor, sort of like how they had what if Spider-Man crossed over with Moon Knight, and that's how we got Arachnite and cool stuff like that.
It's actually part of a What If Miles series. Like, I think the Thor one's issue 4. I think they started with a Hulk, a Wolverine, and one other one. I think Captain America. But this latest one is Thor, and it's out of control.
Allow me to explain. So, on paper, this sounds great. Miles Morales mixed with Thor. Thor is one of my top 5 favorite Marvel superheroes. I love Thor, and I love Spider-Man. I especially love Miles Morales. So on paper, it sounds good, right? It just wasn't executed well. It wasn't executed well because I understand focusing on your characters and who they are and being black, and that was something that I like to see. I love seeing good representation, but it was just corny. It was
it was
90s
beyond corny, bro.
It was 90s corny. So we had there was a couple of issues
it was like have you seen the episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch where they decide to do a rap to teach her something and everything is so cringe and all that? It was that level.
Remember
of
better example. You remember how they had Zach act on Power Rangers?
oh yes.
That's basically what it's like. There's first off, Asgard is my hood. That was a big red flag for me. I was like, what the heck?
Why?
That's not an issue at first, but another I don't see this one as an issue, but I can understand why people are right. So there was graffiti on Mjolnir. Now that sounds like something Miles Morales would do because he likes to make graffiti.
He does.
And I have a big issue with that. But then it was also by Odin's fade when Odin is bald, but maybe they could have been talking about when they said fade, they might have been talking about catching a fade like a fight. Also the fact that he references a Tupac album when he fights one of the ice giants. I feel like the ice giants think
Missy Elliott flip it and reverse it. It's full of wildly outdated hip hop references, which wouldn't be bad in and of itself, but it's
if they were placed well, I wouldn't have an issue with it. But I feel like this comment low-key just wanted to call me the N-word and call it a day. I'm not gonna lie. Now,
yeah, keep going.
The last thing I honestly want to say about this comic is that the main issue I have now. Here's the thing. When I first saw this comic, I was like, oh, this had to have been written by a white person, right? No, actually, this was written by a Latino person, which is fine. But my issue is that Miles is Afro-Latino. He has a Latino side to him. So I don't know why someone who is with a Latino background wouldn't just focus on that more aside from his black background. Because now it just makes the comic seem I want to say the word I need to use is egregious.
It's
It's in poor taste. It's in poor taste.
Is there anything about his Latino heritage in it?
As far as I saw, no. I only saw a couple bits and pieces.
I read the whole thing. No, there is not. It's
serious. All right, whatever.
It's 24 pages of pure cringe. It's written as if someone took every urban stereotype about black people and was like, yes, this is what the kids want.
How do you do, fellow kids? Literally.
It's IGN all over again.
The exaggerated swagger.
Literally the exaggerated swagger of a black tea.
It was literally, I heard it described as the exaggerated swagger of an AC teenager. But yeah, it's literally, I would describe it as this. So people want to call it racist. I don't even necessarily want to call it that. It's
right.
I feel like this was by a person who really likes urban culture, was well-meaning, but just didn't understand when to stop.
Quite
Just didn't
psychoanalytic.
understand when it went past, like, okay, we're celebrating it, to like, okay, this is cringe parody, to like, oh god, no, you've gone too far. Like, you know,
That,
you
like,
guys remember,
racism.
Sounds like
you guys
fan
remember
fiction.
Tropic Thunder? You guys remember Tropic Thunder? Like,
I love that movie.
Oh, I
they
love that
never-
movie. Yes.
They never go
Great.
full retard.
Booty sweat.
This is when they went full retard. Like, they
Raw.
went way too far.
Yeah,
like,
I understand that.
Like, if they had consulted, like, who was in editorial with them? Because if they'd consulted one black person, they would have been like, okay, you should have stopped like 5 miles back. This is way
Miles.
too
No
far.
pun intended.
Miles.
Yeah. Like, oh man, like they might have meant well, but this is it just ended up being cringe as fuck. Like there was they're talking about like the what if, like how it's like a what if, and it's like, let us pause to go from this dope verse to the multiverse, or like show us the multiverse of this over. Like, it was just like a terrible like meter rhyme to be like, oh, we're so hip, guys, and like I can't describe to you the comic without you actually seeing it, because it's like every page is like, okay, no, stop, you went too far. Like they meet ice giants later, and they have like the most thugged out looking outfits. Like the ice giants have like a gold chain, some of them have like cornrows, and it's like, oh bro, what are you trying to say here? Are these ice
Maybe
giants
it like
thugs?
slipped into like parody territory, like blaxploitation parody more than anything else.
And they kept going. It went past parody into like, oh no, you're just playing on racial stereotypes. And
Oh no!
even if you don't mean it, this is what you're doing, and this is why it's wrong. Like, who was consulted in this? Like, if you like, and it's really funny because
No one.
I don't know if you watch Double Toasted, but like Corey from Double Toasted, who's black, actually knows the comic writer because he's been part of the comic industry, and he's like, I want to vouch for this guy. He's my friend. But like, you can tell he consulted no black person on writing this, and then they're like, "Why didn't he consult you?" And he's like, "Yeah, he did after it was out."
Yeah.
It's like, why is
So how'd you like it, man?
It's like, oh, bro, what have you done?
Oh no!
So-
And like,
So,
it didn't help that like the dude on Twitter, before he apologized, doubled down and be like, "Well, if I had more anime schoolgirls, people wouldn't have
my
been complaining." And it's like, no, that
Oh,
wasn't the
God.
point.
That seems to be comics like fallback on everything now. They're just blaming everything on like anime and like manga. They're like, oh, people don't like our comics right now because of anime and manga has ruined the
Oh my
comic
God.
industry. No, it's because the comic industry is ruining itself by
Yeah, this
just
was-
fucking everything up.
Yeah, this
Right.
was another example of them like wanting to embrace a culture but just not understanding it at all, and not having anyone in the room being able or willing to say no to a very bad idea.
The George Lucas effect.
100%. The George Lucas prequels. It's like he needed someone
But
to
no
stop
one to
him.
edit it.
Yeah, he needed someone to stop him, and there was no one in the room to say no.
I guess
and,
I have to read this thing. It sounds too crazy to be true, honestly.
You might die of cringe. I read it earlier today, and I'm like, oh my god! Like, who? Like, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. They're trying to make like a urban Miles Thor. Like, some of the ideas aren't bad. Like, it's got its own kind of aesthetic. It's kind of cool. It's hip
Its own
hoppy.
flair.
Yeah, I mean, apparently they got like one thing right, more so than the comics, where Loki is Odin's brother. Adopted brother, which is actually more true to Norse mythology than what the current Marvel comics do. But outside of that, it was just like, guys,
Yeah.
you should have realized when to stop, and nobody did. And this just got
It could have been better. It could have been better.
it went past the point of parody into like, okay, now you're just playing stereotypes, and that's, no one wants to see that. It's just cringe.
Kind of reminds me of like the pregnant Spider-Woman comics that were running for a little bit.
The what? The
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, they had
when Jessica Drew
Spider-Woman,
was
and she
pregnant?
was pregnant, and she was still like fighting crime and stuff. And I was like, oh, I guess this is a thing. Okay.
It's like that video of that
Like-
CrossFitter like doing
Yeah.
kipping pull-ups, and she's like completely like 8 months pregnant.
Well,
Like-
it's also that's
Well,
stupid.
even like female comic fans are like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah.
What?
Well, but like, I mean, I feel like that's the Marvel has a history of just making stupid decisions that, like, if they had
Yeah.
asked any of the people of the constituent groups they supposedly were trying to represent, they would have said, no, this is a terrible idea. It just turns into self-parody. Like we mentioned it briefly earlier, in an earlier podcast, but like when they had the characters of like Safe Space and Snowflake, no one in the LGBT community would have said that was a good idea, but they did it anyway. Like, it's like what the like? You have to ask these writers, like, are you guys being serious or are you just fucking around? Because like,
Oh wait,
you
I know
don't
what you're
what's gonna
talking
fit
about.
this. Yeah,
Starfire's daughter.
That's DC, but still, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure
that went over like a lead balloon.
Yeah.
Um,
So
What's some of the other current events we got to
So-
talk about now?
So
let's roll into those.
I gotta real quick because I said this before. Did anybody like? And of course, nobody has to stay for current events if anybody has to go. You
Right.
guys are more than welcome to, or you guys can stay too. That's completely fine. I was thinking.
We are almost 2 hours in.
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe we could take like a quick break and I could use the bathroom, and then because I drank some caffeine here. Are you guys cool with that? And then we'll come back and hit current events.
Sure.
Sure.
Sounds good to me.
All right, guys, and we'll be
Hey.
right back. We're back. So let's see. The first thing on the docket here is
Good to be back.
Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick is reelected to the board for another year.
I just want to say the Blizzard redemption arc is not going to occur, apparently.
what
so-
what redemption arc?
I
mean-
that is an arc that has not. We are at least 5 seasons away from that. arc
Yeah, that
happening.
Like I
I don't
thought
think
if
it's
they
going to
got
get animated.
I
don't
thought
know.
I thought if they got picked up by Xbox, they would have been fine. But after I saw the reelected by Kotick, I'm like, well, never mind then.
Yeah,
Yeah. What
it's
hope is
literally-
there? Eh,
I can't wait.
It's literally like the meme of like, enough about my old villainy. Let's talk about my new villainy. Like, just a new season of villainy.
I can't wait until Mr. Kotick like has a redemption and then sacrifices himself. And the
Save the
climax.
multiverse.
Yeah, save the multiverse, of course.
And it was mid anyway. That was a mid-season anyhow.
So yeah, so basically because Activision had basically done their own audit, they found nothing wrong with or like any harassment.
the company investigates themselves. Nope, we're in the clear.
We found nothing wrong.
That's a fucking.
Dude literally threatened to like hire someone to kill one of his employees, and it's oh no big deal, guys. That's just locker room talk.
I love
It's like hiring like a serial killer to investigate their own like murders. Like no,
It reminds me of that one Garfield meme where it's like he's looking at that no Garfield sign. He's like, huh? Wonder who that's for.
yeah, right.
one of the titles here. I love it how it says like Activision Blizzard believes Activision Blizzard did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I just love that. And so basically they looked through all the cases. They said they didn't find anything wrong, and because of that, they're able to bring Bobby Kotick back on. And basically, as far as I can tell, they're using this whole thing as a publicity stunt to sort of try to get people to believe that someone else is not like this is what I think. I think they're trying to get other people to believe that someone else did the audit other than them. And so like when you look at the actual audit, it's at the very bottom of the page that it says Activision Blizzard. So it's kind of, you know what I mean? It's just scumbaggery at its maximum. Not only the fact that, of course, yeah, Mr. Kotick is back in control, and absolutely no one, I'm sure he had a nice vacation and a nice little payoff there, but he's back at the helm.
I'm still interested to see if that like lawsuit by I can't remember what state against them goes forward.
New York.
It
It
was New York. Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, because they're basically suing. They were basically suing Activision Body Comic for all this stuff that came out about his bad actions and how that would affect the sale. So Blizzard trying to rebrand themselves as not doing anything wrong, or re-electing Bobby Kotick just smacks that right in the face. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But
Yeah,
this is
My big
ridiculous.
question is, if they did nothing wrong, why did they panic and start changing everything suddenly?
Why would they have to even audit? Why would they even have to have an audit?
Why even bother? Like, oh, there's nothing wrong. I don't know. It just reeks of
You don't find that
conspiracies and
suspicious?
bullshit. Yeah.
You don't find that suspicious?
I mean, even their statement was like, "We've never ignored an issue of harassment." Okay, you acknowledge that there is harassment and did nothing. What's the difference?
Yeah.
It
You know
doesn't
what
matter that like 10 plus employees came forward. They're like, yeah, no, we had like regular cubicle crawls where the guys would get drunk and like crawl through people's cubicles,
Yeah,
including women.
Yeah, we had dude drinking literal like women's breast milk. You know, it's nothing
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, was it like the Cosby Lounge? Like,
Cosby
was the
Suite.
Cosby Lounge them? Yeah,
Cosby
Excuse me.
Suite. Well, that was partially them. That was like deep, like seated within the gaming industry as a whole. Unfortunately,
But like, it's just one of those things where it's just like, literally, like, what's the difference between you ignoring something and you being like, okay, we acknowledge that you have a complaint, now go away. which is what it seems like they did most of the time. So
Yeah.
this is crazy. I don't know, like, have PR campaigns gone too far? Like, are companies like unaccountable for the things they do now? Like, were they ever accountable for the things they do? Like, this is crazy that they're just allowed to rebrand like this. And because Kotick's, everyone on the board besides Kotick is one of Kotick's friends. Yeah, of course they elect him back to the board. I mean, he's an effective CEO. Unfortunately, he makes them a ton of money. But I mean, should his actions outside that case, which are pretty crazy, pretty insane, pretty egregious, be allowed? Normal people think they shouldn't, but apparently people on the board, which are his friends, think they should. So it's crazy. I think the people at Tesla are going through the same thing right now. Because like literally Musk just fired everyone that went around asking a survey about like who signed a letter about him. Like, yeah, like he's making bad press to the company. So like it's crazy the amount of leverage CEOs have in current companies.
It sounds like two things. It sounds sort of like you said, like there was the wholesale of them trying to pawn off the company while it still had like all the harassment cases going on. So it sounds like they're trying to make to make the sale happen. And then it also sounds like God damn it. I had a second point and it left my brain. I hate when this happens. But yeah, man, unfortunately, it just sounds like with money. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It sounds like the people that were victimized are now going to have to get their own lawyers and press charges on their own. Is what that sounds like to me. It sounds like, oh well, we're not gonna, we don't have to be involved in any sort of way. Is what I'm hearing.
It just seems like another example of a corporate abuse of kind of the power structures of corporations and companies. And like, I don't know, should there be an independent third party that investigates stuff like this?
Oh, you mean like the government?
Yeah.
I mean, literally, the state of California was inspecting this. That's how everything got found out about it in the first place.
Yeah. So what happened with that case? I don't know. It's
well, a secondary investigation by their own company revealed that nothing was wrong.
Yeah,
perfect.
So they're good. Yeah, it's like what happened? Like, please slap yourselves on the wrist and call it a day. Like, I don't. Yeah, this is crazy. So
I thought I'd be like numb to all this news by this point, but it still hurts because I still just like love the old Blizzard like so much, like the games and stuff. Like I'm like a hardcore Diablo fan, right? But everything just pushes me further and further away. It's just like, man, I want to be excited for like Diablo 4.
No.
But I also don't want to support Blizzard ever again.
Also, let's not forget Diablo Immortal just having ridiculous prices for getting stuff.
Don't get 'em
Diablo
started.
Immortal, right? You know?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's that age-old question of like whether or not you can believe in a company or even separate an art from the artist.
Nope,
Like,
not in this case.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think for video games and companies as being a lot more corporate, I think it's a lot harder. If like, are people still watch? But like, on the same instance, like, do people still watch the Cosby Show anymore? You know what I mean? Probably not. So like, I mean, it's, at certain points, maybe at a certain extent, if the behavior is bad enough, maybe you can't separate the art from the artist.
Well,
I would certainly say there's a lot of
Ye-
situations which you can't.
Well,
so.
Usually I can. Like,
No.
I still love the Rurouni Kenshin series,
Mm.
even though the artist is just a huge pile of shit, right?
But I mean, like, even if you can, I mean, like, how do you not support the company while still liking their art,
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mr. Cosby was acquitted though.
No, he
And-
just was. There was just a new case where he was convicted.
Get out of here.
Wait.
Leave your own podcast.
What?
Fuck off.
God damn it! All right.
He was
Discord is yours.
literally like last week. He was literally like charged on a new case back in the '70s.
See, there you go. There goes the like I was not paying attention. So I mean,
The ride never ends.
wait. Thanks for finding that bus to throw me under. God damn.
No.
All right. Netflix begins the second round of layoffs. 300 positions
Yum.
cut.
Oh, I definitely got something to say about this.
So I don't know
Go ahead. Go
if you
ahead.
guys have been like real quick. I feel like we're on a this is a rerun that we're having right now because
Yeah.
we literally had most of these subjects on the podcast like 1 or 2 podcasts ago, and we're literally we keep following these corporations that keep fucking people in the ass.
This is just our recap episode.
It might as well be.
It's
no,
a recap
it's-
featuring Freddy
It's
and
the
Drew.
sequel. Yeah, exactly.
It's like it's like TMZ. Like first you hear like an artist has a drug problem, and next you hear like they're hiding out on a farm somewhere with like guns and ammunition. Not gonna name any names.
We'll get there.
But
Hey,
Fuck
that's
you.
for later. Okay,
That's for later.
That's for later.
I'm just saying, like this is just
That's for
this is the
later.
update. This is the
Fuck
update
TMZ.
and an ongoing story, baby. First you
No
hear Netflix
spoilers.
Anyways,
has like the worst quarter of all time in their corporate history,
Well-
and then the payoff is just people getting fired.
What were you saying, Drew?
my whole thing is that the first time I heard about this, I was pretty pissed because that means an animation project that I was waiting for literally years got canceled. And I'm not sure if any of y'all ever read this
Second
comic, 'cause this is
Bloodline.
a comic. No,
Sorry.
Oh,
this is
Bone.
it's
Or
it's
was it
because of a
Bone?
yeah, it was Bone. I
It was
loved reading
Bone.
those comics
Fuck.
growing
Yeah.
up so much, and then I heard that it just got canceled because Netflix just laid off their animation like a good 50% of their animation group. So I'm just like, we were this close to greatness. We were this close, and we're gonna get so much other good
Yeah.
stuff as well. So I was
They're
just like,
cutting out passion projects, as a whole, pretty much.
yeah, no, I've heard they're cutting out like
Whatever that means.
what they're calling what they call egregious passion projects, was like stuff by like Scorsese, stuff with Robin De Niro, and a bunch of other what do you call
Prestige directors.
like high society directors, I guess I could call it. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, go cut those guys who actually make decent movies and not the flipping 3 Netflix originals that get no view time whatsoever.
Get ready for
Because they're
more
super corny.
more
Well, I mean,
more
listen.
episodes of Is It a Cake or Not? Yeah,
I
or
think
whatever
that's
the
the
fuck.
whole argument with Netflix is that their
Here comes
quality
more
control.
Q-Force.
Their quality control.
Their first- I noticed their first issue was when they decided to like drop JoJo's Part 6 in one season, and
Wait,
I'm like,
seriously?
okay, that's cool. When's the next one? Oh, it's not till the fall.
It's like a year and a half
What?
away. A year and
We're
a half
gonna need
away.
at
Yeah,
least 3 parts to finish this
Yeah.
damn thing, too.
that's crazy.
Right.
No, I mean, but I think that's the core problem of Netflix is that they have no corporate quality control strategy to their content. Like 99% of their content is mid, which is why so many people are dropping the networks. Yes, they
Yeah.
have 1 or 2 good projects, but the 1 or 2 good projects cost stupid amounts of money. Meanwhile, their solution is to just throw money at everything and hope it sticks, even if it's gonna end up terrible. Like they're still working on a One Piece project. Why I don't know.
I'm
they're
actually
burning-
I'm actually excited for that. I'm not gonna
No.
lie. I'm
It
excited.
could be great, but I mean, like, look at their track record with live action
Note.
anime adaptations. It's not
Cowboy
good.
Bebop.
Wait. Are you saying that the live action Netflix Death Note wasn't good?
Wait, are you saying the live action Full Metal Alchemist wasn't a masterpiece?
Honestly, I thought the Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood live action was decent. I don't think it's
Gluttony?
straight too far off of stuff.
Yeah, but decent doesn't pay the bill.
Okay,
It
well,
needs
yeah,
to be
Gluttony
great.
was. Yeah.
Like
That was some of the funniest animation I've seen in my entire life.
Cowboy
brutally
Bebop.
honest.
I mean, like people said, like there were good things about it, but I mean, the amount of money they spent on just to end up with mid doesn't make any sense. Like,
I'm just keeping faith because Oda is actually closely, like the creator of One Piece, little creator is working closely on it. So I'm just like I'll keep faith.
There is
Stephen
hope
King
in my
has-
heart.
Stephen King has worked closely on almost every failed Stephen King project in history. The
That's
creator's
fair.
working closely with something doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be good.
Well, sometimes it's hard to cut through Stephen King's eccentric plot lines and
Yes.
get the
His
real
new-
meat of the.
You mean his coke plot lines?
Spoilers. It was aliens.
He's like,
spoilers? It was a.
aren't there like books back in the
He's
like,
been sober
90s
for
and 80s
years.
he doesn't even remember writing though? Like I
Yeah.
swear there's like a quote somewhere where he's like, I don't even remember writing
Yeah,
that.
I think it was like I want to say like something like The Shining or something like that, or he doesn't remember writing it because he was a severe drug addict for years before he got sober. But I mean, he still writes books that are great, so it's
Yeah.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
the drugs really. I think it's just, you know.
Yeah. I mean, well, he just might not have a good handle on understanding what makes good film media or
I heard he
adaptation.
doesn't remember writing parts of it.
It was the spirit of the It universe speaking through him.
But
No,
again, it's probably aliens. I'm just saying.
yeah.
It's
But, like,
literally
it's-
every villain in Stephen King.
Again, like
It's
I
true.
part of me is not unconvinced that Netflix is just a giant money laundering operation. Because their quality control and the way they spend money make 0 sense. 0 sense. Like if I were Netflix, I would have just bought everyone at the production staff of HBO. I don't care how much I would have had to pay. Because HBO seems to do it right. 99% of their projects are good, if not great. And even the ones that aren't successful are good TV. Netflix makes mid TV that's usually way overpriced and not even good, and then they'll have a rare hit that got good for no reason of their own, just because they found the right creators at the right time. Whereas everything HBO makes is 99% good, and that's because they have good production staff and they know what's good, and they have good quality control and know what's good, and they probably actually like go to the site of the people making the film and ask for the fucking dailies. You'd be like, is this going to be garbage or not? Because we're still spending a paycheck on you. Netflix has had such a hands-off attitude for so long at the things they throw money at. But yeah, of course it was going to bite them on the ass. Because 99% of what they make is shit. Because they don't give a shit.
Well, it reminds me of, I think it was the South Park parody where they call into Netflix. They're like, "Hello, this is Netflix. You're greenlit. What's your project idea?"
Yeah. That seems to be the philosophy. And surprise Amazon drop. Hell yeah.
Yeah, right.
But no, like I seriously, that seems to be the production philosophy of Netflix. And yeah, now of course it's biting them in the ass because people are realizing that Netflix has a bloated library of crap, and only a couple good projects, and it's not worth paying for that when they could be paying for other streaming services that have good projects, like HBO, or that have at least access to like almost current run stuff like Disney Plus. So yeah, it's Netflix did this to themselves, unfortunately, just by not being smart with their money.
Did anyone else have a take on this? Well, before we move on. All right.
Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. It just gets me fired up because I want to like Netflix, but they just do.
August's a little
things.
salty over here.
He's definitely over there ranting. Texas could vote to basically separate themselves from the U.S. in 2023.
All I can
Texas
say is
things,
remember that one
whatever.
SpongeBob meme. That's all I can say.
I feel like this is not this happens like semi-frequently, right?
Yeah, it
like
does,
every
yeah.
once in a while
Yeah.
Texas is
Yeah.
like, we're gonna secede, and then everyone's like, never mind.
Yeah.
I don't
You
think
guys
that
can't
would
even
work out
keep
well for
your
them.
freaking like power and gas on through freezing stuff. What are you guys gonna do?
Right.
I mean, Texas has always kind of been their own state in a lot of different ways.
They like to think they are.
For better or worse?
They have a lot of different they have a lot of different laws than a lot of different states. So I mean,
They're very unique.
yeah, I would say so. I mean, like
yeah.
with the whole
Or-
compound thing.
I think we'd be stronger without them.
Honestly, yeah.
They don't
agree.
really bring a whole lot to the U.S. as a whole, you know?
I mean,
Like,
what were we gonna say? Sorry.
their largest exports, like racism and poor takes.
and oil. I mean, it's not that they don't. Yeah, Texas is a very complicated state. I mean, they do a decent amount for GDP because in part they are a big oil state. Outside of that, not a whole lot. But it's one of those things where like, okay, we fought a whole civil war over the fact that no state can secede. So no, that's out. I don't know where you got it in your heads that you thought you could leave, but that's not a thing. There was a whole war over it. It's literally
By
not
the
a
way,
thing.
you lost. You know,
In the Constitution, literally not a thing. You can't. That's not how the Union works. You can't leave. It's stupid that you would want to because I mean, if you look at the numbers, the amount of federal support you get is insane. It's huge, and you would lose all that if you left. And just like this would be Brexit was a stupid idea. Britain
it
now
happened.
realizes that they were
It
paying
happened.
for it. This would be like 10 times stupider than that.
This is like the kid who's like when you were a kid and you swore to your folks you were running away from home.
yeah, right.
But
no,
wouldn't
this
you?
is-
You're
But
never
don't,
gonna see me again, Dad.
but don't
But, like,
you want
I
to
mean-
see that train wreck though?
But
I do.
don't.
No, I'm here for it.
Like we live in a world of ultra stupidity now.
Do we?
And like
They'll
The-
build
the
a
dumb
wall around
decision is-
Texas.
the dumb decision is the mainstream decision, it seems. And like I don't want to see this decision because this would just end badly for everyone. This is a dumb idea.
I want to
unfortunately,
see.
We
the
would
days
end
were
up
dumb
footing the
ideas.
bill even if they
Yeah.
seceded. So
I mean,
don't
we
know.
live in an age of grifting where the people with the dumbest ideas get power because social media
Unfortunately.
social media just signal boosts the people with the loudest ideas in the room, which are usually the stupidest ideas in the room. So I don't know, bro. This is not a good take.
It's
But
just
that's where we are in the timeline where stupid is winning. I guess I don't know. So yeah, this is dumb, but dumb seems to be in vogue.
I'm for it. I think they should get the fuck out, and I think
yeah.
I want to see them
Whatever.
regret their decisions because Texas has had like a stick up their ass for years, and maybe they'll realize that they're not the most important state ever.
Do people learn lessons in this day and age? I don't even know.
They could. I mean, there's a thing called consequences, and you know,
Not really
they-
in Texas, but you know, in other places I hear they learn.
Yeah,
Here's
there's
the
still
thing
people
with
in
just,
Britain
like-
thinking Brexit was a good idea.
The
I don't
thing
know.
with like a lot of like red states in general, and like a lot of southern states is like there's a lot of people in these states who don't agree with what their government's doing.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's fair.
they're just all stuck having to live with it because of like how like the politics of it works out of like stuff is gerrymandered, stuff like that. And it's just like there's plenty of like perfectly good people who are just like getting fucked over because like they're in this state. They have reasons why they can't leave. It shouldn't have to be like you leave the state in order to have a normal life. It's just like
I'm going to Canada.
exactly. It's like that's
you're
not
not.
feasible for like everyone to do, or for
Yeah, not everyone
right.
has the money
For,
to
like,
just pick up their
anyone to
life and
do.
or
fucking
for like
move.
anyone to do. It's like that shouldn't have to be the
Yeah.
option. Is like
I mean,
either
Yeah.
live like this or like pick up your life and go somewhere else. Like
Yeah. It's like pick up my life and go somewhere else with what guarantee of a job when I get there.
yeah,
Right.
like
Especially if I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Like how
right?
how
How
does
are
that
you
work?
how are you supposed to save up for that kind of move? Like
Yeah.
when I moved to Chicago, I didn't have a job for 6 months.
Whoa.
Like
Oh,
I was
how'd you
my God.
survive?
How did you
I
live?
I lived in South Carolina for the most time, and like cost of living is pretty low, and I like
Okay.
literally just saved up for years. Like I just like sat on. I was in a very like privileged good spot, like with where I was with
Oh.
like my finances when I like because I knew for a while that I was like going to be doing this move, and I already was working in tech, so like I was
Good
able to
forethought.
save up from. But
Yeah.
like I good for me. I was in that position where I like was able to
Mhm.
save up for a very long time before like making this move. Then I had this like nets. That is not at all like a common universal
Yeah.
thing. Like
Mm-mm.
Do you know how exponentially harder it is to move when you have a family?
Do you know how
Yeah.
hard it is?
Yeah.
To,
Sorry, yeah.
do you know how hard it is to just live on your own now? I mean, like it
Yeah.
seems like it's impossible to live on your own without a
Yeah.
roommate. Really.
yeah, like you oh god, like I feel like everyone like our generation and below is just waiting for the housing market to crash so
That's
we can
me.
afford
Yep.
anything.
That's me. That's me.
Literally anything.
It's
Like
me
my,
for real.
my
I'll take the
partner and
heat
I
death of
are
the
just like-
universe or the housing crash. Pick one.
Which one's gonna come first?
Oh man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Yeah,
What-
no, I mean they're not building any new houses, so I don't even know if that's gonna happen. It's
Do you-
crazy.
There's no
so it's just
room!
like it's just
I
like
mean there's no money for materials.
Oh no, no,
More
they're building houses near me.
Well,
Really, it's been a lot that they're just making houses in.
I did
Can't
like
afford 'em.
I did some math, right? And it was something like, how much do I need to live, like to have my own apartment and be able to save money? And the amount that they're charging for apartments is like $300 to $400 more than I would be able to live, to basically to rent an apartment, like typically.
And then on top of that, it's like you, in order to get approved for like a house, which would cost less, you
Yep.
have to
Yeah, then
like
a rent.
you
rent.
can't get approved for it, even
Yeah.
though like your monthly payments would be less than your rent is when you
Yep.
don't even
Mortgage,
get the house in the end.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
you have to pay more to not be able to use nails in your home. Like
You have to pay more to not own anything.
Yeah.
not to mention the idea that renting an apartment is the only reason you can't afford to buy a house.
yeah,
And so it's like this weird thing where it's like people just keep like, it's like they don't want you to buy a house, and it's just like, you know what I mean? It's the only way apartments can kind of compete with that, is to just keep raising their rates. I don't know.
I mean,
man.
they probably don't. Land is like the safest form of investment capital because it's a thing you own that no one can really take away from you easily, and you can do almost whatever you want with it.
Well, I mean, the thing is like, I don't know if you know, like I almost bought an apartment complex, and from what I learned from it is that essentially you don't pay rent when you live in an apartment complex. Like when you rent out, like if you live in an apartment, other people pay your rent and your mortgage.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like literally passive income. It's one of the best ways to actually make money, except for, you know, well, I mean, except you got to think of all the legality that comes with that.
Welcome to a system that has been rigged from the start, because that's the way the game has been set up to be played.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
for sure.
as someone whose parents are landlords, it's not always so glamorous.
Oh, of course.
No,
not.
I mean, I wasn't saying it, which is why I was saying
we have
legality
no
and stuff.
repercussions if like somebody just leaves the place in like just a fucking shitstorm.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And then we have to pay through our own like savings to like get things back up to a standard.
Right.
I mean, the grass, like, you know, there are difficulties to both sides, but I mean, like,
Yeah. But there are
generally-
people that run it like a slumlord, right? Like,
Yeah.
they don't
Okay.
care. They'll just do whatever.
I love on TikTok like the amount of like people that invented the idea of the landlord special, of like people just like painting over things like bugs inside of a wall, or like that's one of, or like they paint over like an electrical outlet.
every apartment I've had in Chicago has had all of them.
But like
I've-
bugs and electrical,
Or not bugs, but like my favorite is like there would be like nails like sticking out of the wall where someone had hung something up before, and those are just painted over, like the full nail, like an inch, like a half inch
my
out of the wall, just
God.
gets painted over. I'm like,
We would
It's there
never do
forever.
that.
Good lord.
camouflage. But yeah,
See,
no,
that's the kind of shit that gives all landlords a bad name.
good.
I've actually
Hey.
had like one really good landlord. The only issue I had with him was he basically, okay, so get this. There's a person he paid to plow the driveway. That person would plow our driveway last. So if I had to go to work, I had to dig myself out. Anyway, it was a whole stupid thing. I don't even know why I'm bringing it up. But let's so we got
we're
text-
almost done. We got like two, 3 more. So let's
Okay,
crack
so
through.
let's dive into it. Sonic Origins developer very unhappy with the current state of the game. Unfortunately, I only right here I only have the IGN YouTube video, so I don't actually have the actual.
I don't know
article to go
too
with it.
terribly much about the state of
Essentially, I think
somebody like
okay, so actually
elaborate?
I did watch the video, and the little that I remember is essentially the developer gave Sega their version of Sonic Origins, and Sega brought it back with more bugs and things that weren't originally in the game.
Oh,
So he's
Really?
yes, yeah.
impressive.
I actually did not hear about this, so I'm just like, whoa, what the hell is going on here?
Mind you, don't quote me because I watched this like I think maybe 2 days ago. But
Oh, we're quoting you.
oh, that's fine.
I'm citing my
guess-
sources as backlog.
So essentially, like he's pissed off, and it's like the first time I've ever seen a developer like outwardly pissed at their publisher, like and publicly announce it as soon as a game gets announced. I've never seen that happen before. I mean, at least me. I mean, like
Well,
know,
are
like
these the same people that did Mania?
yeah, it's the same people that did Sonic Mania. I don't know if it's
Oh wow, okay.
I don't know if it's Christian Whitehead or whatever his name is. August, nobody can hear you.
August, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, awesome. I have like 2 mute buttons, so I forgot which one was which. But yeah, no. So the guy whose name is Stealth,
Mobile.
which was one of the people that worked on Mania. But yeah, I mean, essentially, yeah, like he sent it, like just like you said, like he sent it to them, telling them that this needed to be fixed. And not only did they send it back with most of those bugs unfixed, but like they changed things that he didn't want changed.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool to see like a developer ardently complaining about something that didn't go his way so early, like in a game's release cycle. Because that means like I think more indie developers out there are trying to take less shit from their publishers. Like he's not like a company man. He was someone that they brought in because he knew what he was doing and make the game better. And the fact that they didn't listen to him, he's like, yeah, this is why the game sucks, guys. I tried fixing it for you. They didn't let me.
Not to mention, like, it's, well, I mean, obviously it's his head on the chopping block. And, I think the treatment towards Sonic Origins has been sort of weird. Like, why? Like, they're really trying to ride that Sonic movie wave, like, really hard. Especially, like, with them adding in, like, what is it, the pay? Like, I think they
all
have,
the
like,
monetization for this game.
the
has been really
monetization,
weird.
when it's
Yeah.
like, all you need to do is drop the ROM inside the fucking game and like build something around it like they did with Sonic Gem Collection, Sonic what is it, Collection Plus or something like that. People would love that.
Yeah.
And
Well,
instead
they wanted to update all the sprites to look more like Mania too. So
They-
it's more than just dropping the ROM.
yeah, I
but-
know they did add more
Mhm.
features, but essentially you're talking about the people who made Sonic Mania, and their main thing was originally they were a fan modding, company. So it's like, it wouldn't really be too much to, I mean, it shouldn't have been this much effort, but you can see where the difference between the the person making the game, and then, where Sega was like doing their meddling inside of it, which is all of the worst aspects of it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I just looked it up on like Steam right now, and it has mixed, and there's like a bunch of people complaining about all the bugs, and I didn't think it came out in that bad of a state because I
Yeah.
hadn't really heard too much about it.
They
I
were
mean-
never able to get the music from Sonic 3 either. That was
What?
the other thing people were complaining
Oh,
about.
maybe because
Yeah.
it's owned by Michael Jackson now.
Oh yeah, there was that. I do remember hearing about that.
So speaking of which, guys, Sonic creator confirms Michael Jackson wrote music for Sonic 3 soundtrack. The urban legend has been confirmed, guys.
Just another reason why Michael Jackson is eternally the GOAT.
I mean,
Well,
it does have a banging soundtrack.
outside of a few
You know those are fake,
issues.
right?
Allegedly.
Yeah, the
allegedly.
alleged actions.
Either way, weird guy.
Jackson
I
gets a
love the-
pass, but not Cosby.
I love that.
Just pointing that out.
Cosby's confirmed. Cosby's confirmed. Everything else, I don't know. But I mean, I love the Robot Chicken
The
sketch where
spicy
like
take.
there's like a black Michael, and then he gets like abducted by aliens and replaced with the white Michael. I mean, it's kind of fucked up, but that shit was hilarious. But no, yeah, it's like that game has a banging soundtrack. Like there's a Crystal Palace. There's so many awesome tracks on that one, and it's kind of a bummer that we weren't able to get the music back for it for Origins. Especially when it's a game a lot of people grew up with, and it's so near and dear to their heart. But I mean, emulation exists. So not to mention, I think that was part of the original Sega collection. So like, you can still play Sonic 3 if you want. It's just not going to be the new updated fancy sprite version, but it's still a great game. Soundtrack
Right.
still exists. Game still exists. You can still pay it.
I mean, the
on
game still looks fine. Like
bunch of places.
the sprite work holds up in
Yeah.
Sonic 3 and such. Like,
Yeah, I don't
don't
know. I don't actually
Whatever.
think that they needed to. Again, I don't think they need to like remaster it because it's like it's just sprite work. It's not.
Yeah.
No one's gonna bitch if
Well,
it's
wasn't
like
Sonic 3 the one that was like turned into 3 versions? Like there's the Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic. Whatever.
yeah. So Sonic and Sonic 3 was supposed to, and Knuckles, Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic 3 were supposed to be one
There you go.
game, which is and essentially what they wanted to do was they're like, oh, it's either they wanted to double monetize it, so they split it into 2 games, or they didn't have enough time to make one game out of it, which is why you have the Tower of Power, and the Sonic, where the meme comes from,
Power? It's
and
like
Knuckles.
you
you
stack
you open up the cart and then you plug it in, and you can play
Yeah.
Knuckles and Sonic too.
Hmm.
So man, I actually think that's really cool that Michael Jackson made music for Sonic 3. It's finally confirmed.
It's always cool when like an urban legend / like a myth or a rumor actually gets confirmed.
It only took
Right?
30 years, and
Well, that just makes it more interesting, right?
like is it and my question is, why did they not confirm it for 30 years? Like what did you
because
do?
of the Michael Jackson controversies. I mean,
Probably because of that, yeah.
Yeah,
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 but-
probably.
But I don't think, I mean, didn't
Oh.
Sonic 3 come out in like 94? Like maybe 94, 95, something like
I
that?
think it was 95.
Yeah, so I mean,
Maybe they had some kind of like deal
I think
that they wouldn't say.
I think ultimately he worked on, so the rumor was, okay, so it's 94. So the idea is that he never did the entire soundtrack. He only did part of it, and the rumors were
Yeah.
that the Sega sound chip is too limited for him to actually make like a full soundtrack, which, I mean, I don't know, that sounds kind of bullshit. I mean, if you've ever listened to like,
Maybe.
I don't know, Streets of Rage 2, that has like a ballin' soundtrack. And
I mean, it ain't no Super Nintendo sound chip.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's a difference between making something.
I mean,
There's a-
it's arguably, a lot of people actually think that Sega has the better soundtracks in that generation.
Yeah, but from a sound engineering point of view, there's There's
Overall.
a difference between making something natively, like making it for a specific game and sound chip,
Yep.
versus trying to take like Michael Jackson's samples and cram them into
But-
the Sega sound chip. And I think that's what he was trying to do, like take
Yeah.
like conventional music practices and cram them into the Sega sound chip. And I can totally see why that didn't work out.
If you listen to the Sonic 3 soundtrack, you can hear his influence hard, like in terms of how he like writes drums and bass, and like it just has like a heavy touch, and especially with his like relationship with Sega when he made like Moonwalker, and things like it's kind of like, it makes sense. But also, the like Quintessence, the other thing about the Sega Genesis is that it actually has a Yamaha chip inside of it, which is like kind of a deal with Sega, whereas like the Super Nintendo, I'm assuming they made their own sound hardware because it's Nintendo,
Yeah.
and they got to do all their own shit.
Yeah, I mean, they had their like sound booster thing. It's
Right.
Yeah.
honestly fantastic in most regards.
Supposedly, like, I don't know if you've ever, like, you've heard of the Mr. FPGA, right? Like, I don't know if anyone here's ever heard of it.
I have.
As-
It's an emulation machine. Yeah.
Well, it's FPGA, and some people call it simulation. But anyway, it's like high level emulation either way. Low latency, 1080p type stuff. And you can actually tweak the Sega Genesis sound chip to where it's like the original like model of the Genesis or the newer models of the Genesis, because they have different sound chips. And some of them, like the original model, has like actual full drum and bass and more sound that's added to it. It's pretty interesting that like there's that difference in the Sega Genesis models. But But anyway, let's move on. I don't know if so. Apparently, this is a joke, and someone could explain it to me.
Quick question about just Sega history. What was the Mega Drive 2? Was that the Genesis, or was that the one after that? Because I know the Mega Drive 2 didn't come out in America. I think it only came out in Japan, right?
No, so you're thinking of the Sega Master System.
Okay.
So it was Sega Master System, which is an 8-bit console, and it was like the NES era, near the end of it, and then the Sega Genesis was after that.
But what was the Mega Drive?
The Mega Drive is basically the European name for the Sega Genesis.
Oh yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a Mega Drive and a Mega Drive 2, and I thought they were different.
The Mega Drive 2 might just be a later model, like a Sega Genesis Mini, I believe, but I could be
Maybe
wrong.
the Saturn?
No,
Pre-Saturn, yeah.
it's
we'll
like
look up later.
it's like a PlayStation 2 Slim is basically how you gotta look at it.
Oh,
Not
an actual console. Got it.
Right. So someone could explain this to me. Smash Ultimate Pros demand Steve banned after 15 years. Can anybody? So this is apparently a meme. I don't.
Yeah, it is a meme. Players weren't actually taking that whole ban Steve thing seriously. It's just Steve was doing really good at tournaments as of recently, like
with the 5-year, whatever the hell that girl who won.
There was also
15-year-old who won. Acola or something like that.
Acola is a 15-year-old, and they won with Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but their play was exceptional.
Yeah, they played great, and there was also someone, I can't remember the name, but they did like outstandingly at MomoCon when I went.
Like that 13-year-old girl.
Oh no! This is a dude. It wasn't.
Oh.
Her. It was
because there was like the 13-year-old girl that was beating some pros, and people like, oh well, she's cheating.
I believe that's wasn't that already mentioned, Acosta or something?
No, this is someone else.
That's a different
you might be thinking of somebody different.
Yeah.
But I was rooting for this guy at MomoCon because he was playing out of his mind with Steve. I think Steve is like one of the most creative characters in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And I'm not gonna lie, he has some pretty strong tools, but nothing that's like worth a ban. Like that's most of the things that you're probably seeing from like pro players say like #ban Steve, #please. Yeah, that's mostly a joke.
So is this basically like Oni is banned from Street Fighter 4?
Yeah,
okay.
It's like one of those things.
It's like a meme, like Oni is banned. Got you.
I don't know. It seemed like the pros were taking it like fairly seriously. Maybe they weren't all in on the meme then.
Is it like that dude who is like the representative for Antifa that went on Fox News, but he really wasn't. He went on. Like, I don't know if everybody heard about this guy.
There's the guy for anti-work, right? The anti-work subreddit.
No. There's a dude. Okay. I mean, there might have been a different guy, but there's a dude who was an Antifa representative who went on Fox News, and he had nothing to do with Antifa and just trolled the entire broadcast. And
I heard of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So and they were like arguing. They actually like people believed this guy. It's kind of hilarious. So did anybody get a chance to check out the 60? Well, I mean, it says 64-bit Elden Ring Demake on the SNES.
No, but wait, they're making a Demake now.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Was it the Bloodborne Demake guy?
Video that's not an actual game.
I know they're making a Bloodborne racing Mario Kart type racing game.
Yeah, Bloodborne Kart is a thing.
It says here this is the 7th of the series of short demakes we're creating.
It's not playable yet. I think they just have stills from it.
No, it's not. I thought it wasn't a game. I thought it was just like animation.
I mean, it says it's gonna be playable.
Either way, it's not at the playable stage yet, which I think a lot of people are saying.
Early access,
whether or not it turns out to be.
No, yeah, it's real. Yeah. It's a real demake.
Okay.
I can post it in the chat if you guys want to take a look at it.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different one. Because
here.
demakes are kind of hot right now.
Yeah, when are they gonna demake Final Fantasy VII? Wait.
I can't wait. Well, actually, they did that too. They made it like an 8-bit version of it.
Ever Crisis? Ever Crisis?
No.
The little mobile version?
No, somebody made an 8-bit version of Final Fantasy on the NES. Final Fantasy VII.
Oh boy.
Yeah, dude, people love.
You never know what's going to be demaked.
Have you guys ever watched Tim Rogers?
Tim Rogers.
Tim Rogers.
No.
He's like he makes like 3 to to 1 hour videos. Like he made one about Final Fantasy VII, and he was saying like he used to work at Squaresoft or Square Enix, and he was saying that as far back as a Final Fantasy X, people were asking for a Final Fantasy VII remake, which is ridiculous.
I mean,
I
I remember that stuff. Yeah.
I mean, like people would go to the launch of Final Fantasy X and be like, "When are you guys making a remake of Final Fantasy VII?" And it's like, wow, this went all the way back.
Yeah.
And then of course there was that meme of like, Squaresoft, like, in case of emergency, press the Final Fantasy VII button.
I'm waiting on the 10 remake.
I know having Cloud in Kingdom Hearts was
Yeah.
a big push for people to be like, oh my god, look how great Cloud looks. Could you guys imagine like a Final Fantasy VII remake?
Or Advent Children. I mean, Advent Children kept the hype going too.
Yeah, Advent Children.
That was a movie.
That
I mean, it
definitely
was all references. It was references the movie, but I mean, I still enjoyed it.
It was a movie. Indeed.
Well, I will say this, at the time,
Sephiroth
the
songs are
graphics
I watched
were
it with
fucking
my eye holes.
really cool. I was like, man, these graphics, wow. And then, then
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't. But can I tell you the plot of the movie or any of the extra Sephiroth children? No, I don't remember their names.
Nope. I know Tifa punched one.
That she did.
There's
Yep.
Sephiroth, Mephiroth, Hepharoth, Heffalump, and then there's just Dan.
And then they fusion dance, and then there's Sephiroth. Bum, bum,
That-
bum.
that I know I saw that look on your face, Freddy, but he's not wrong.
No, I believe it.
I'm joking. That's the thing. I'm joking.
No,
You
they
tell me-
basically fused to make Sephiroth, or one of them
You
does.
can
Yeah.
tell me literally any sentence and say this is the plot of this Square Enix game, and I would believe you 100%.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just
So
like- that's what you can tell me
Kingdom
with
Hearts is
Blaze
just this
Blue.
little story about.
Dude, anytime anybody ever tells me that they can make sense of Kingdom Hearts and they can explain it to me to make sense, I do not
Oh, they're
believe them.
lying.
I do
They're
not
lying.
believe them. I think they're a fucking
no.
liar. No,
it's
no!
actually believable.
Don't
I
you
can
do-
explain
I
Kingdom
believe it.
Hearts.
It is believable. You I've seen people actually explain it. I can't, but there are
Look,
people who can.
Yeah, because
But
what
like,
they
can you
do...
explain it in a
they-
way that doesn't make it sound like an LSD fever dream?
So that's the
Well,
thing.
okay, that's Disney. I can't.
Is they have
Well,
to decipher and change words to make it make sense. And then also there's the Ansem conundrum, where there's like 7 different Ansems.
Dude, I think we're talking about this.
Which
like,
actually is explained.
Yeah,
They
I
were
know,
talking
but I
yeah,
don't
they were-
care.
They were literally
'Cause-
talking about how stupid it is, like 2 Castle Super Beasts ago, when they're describing a scene in the actual Kingdom Hearts where, like, someone's explaining to Sora that they got Norded, and Sora's like, that makes no fucking sense! Because it's
I
like
know what
he
it
was
means.
making up words!
Norded?
No, they're not making up words.
there's
They're not making up
Ansem.
words.
What does it mean to get Norded?
It's
Oh,
sort of like
no.
turning to the dark side
Wait,
in a
is this
way.
now I think about this. Was this the Pro ZD video?
This is probably the Pro
Yeah.
ZD video he's talking about.
Wait,
Yeah.
is that the Polygon? Not
You're
the
thinking of Brian David Gilbert.
Yeah.
I think. He did,
Yeah,
he did
no,
an unraveled of the plot of Kingdom Hearts as the hero's journey.
I loved
and,
his
like,
videos,
slowly
man.
Deteriorates.
Great.
But yeah,
Yeah,
like
Kingdom Hearts can't follow the hero's journey.
Sorry,
It's
Drew.
just not happening.
Honestly, Drew, I think we should have a Kingdom Hearts cast where you explain to us the Kingdom Hearts lore. Are you down?
oh, I can't do that. I can't do
What?
that.
Why are you defending it then?
Just saying
Because
he's
it
seen someone do that.
that because I
Because you
know it's
can't.
possible. I know it's
Yeah.
possible. I
Look,
just can't do it.
I'm
okay?
just saying, if I'm
sort
at
of
a
like combos in fighting games. I know that they're possible
You
because I've seen people do it. I can't do them.
You can break down the Kingdom Hearts lore into pieces and then put it all together. All right.
that's what I don't like. I don't like if
Well,
we
the problem is it's told over like years and years and years and years and years and years,
Several
decades,
pieces of
decades
media.
and
And
decades.
several different consoles, and then there's also the mobile game that you had to play to have it, be part of the.
That's
And the manga.
Literally
So-
the worst idea they've ever had was to let's put it on every different console, and then
the thing about that mobile game is like since it's like defunct and we never properly got it,
doesn't
it has
exist,
some
yeah.
of the most important like key like lore parts for Kingdom Hearts to make
Yeah.
everything come together and make sense.
And not to mention that old Kingdom
That's
Hearts
the worst
MMO.
part.
Wait, what?
Not to mention the old Kingdom Hearts MMO.
There's an MMO.
There was an MMO. It's actually pretty important to the story.
Well, the mobile one, right?
Is that the one you're talking
It was-
about? I'm not,
it
I
was
thought they were
called-
different.
It was called Enter the
X-
Kingdom Hearts.
Times 4. Another story 11/3.
There's
Enter
one
My
that's
Kingdom
like
Hearts.
a pseudo MMO that's like a actual like mobile game. I think it's still going or it might have shut down. But the one I'm talking about is one that was like a mostly text mobile game on like old mobile phones.
Hmm.
And it had like super core like
Was it
lore
like Typing
details.
of the Dead?
Kinda.
Okay, so with that, guys, I think we, besides the Kingdom Hearts
I love Kingdom
amazing
Hearts.
storyline, we should move on to the L of the week, shall we?
Yep.
Of course.
I guess I should say the L of the week. There you go. I put it as
The
Week
L
sound
of the
effect.
week. What L of the week are we talking about?
Yeah.
August,
so
you want to
there's
take
a
this one?
big- There's a pretty big L of the week. We all know it happened Friday.
The
We're gonna have a whole
continuing
nother
arc.
We're gonna have a whole nother podcast, probably dedicated to it.
Mhm.
Loss of rights in any country is not cool. But
Wake
no,
up, have less rights. It
yes.
sucks.
yeah, it's not excellent, not great, more than not great. But no, we were just gonna continue with our Ezra Miller apocalypse.
Ah.
I think
We'll talk about
Oh man, honestly, when I first heard the news about him, I was like, okay, this is just maybe he was just drunk, and then more and more and more and more. And when I heard about this news, it was like a year or two back, right? I was like, okay, maybe he was just drunk one night, did something stupid, fine. And then more than that, he was terrorizing people in Hawaii, which in hindsight is kind of good because Hawaii doesn't even want visitors. So if they find out Ezra Miller's in Hawaii, then it's kind of like, hey yo, we don't
It's
want
like
to go there anymore.
he was like a kaiju there, just terrorizing the populace.
Oh, shit.
But no, yeah, like choking people out, bunch of other stuff. Literally, he's having like a supervillain turn arc. Only it's real life. And
Reverse
it's not
Flash.
as funny.
At this point, he just is the Reverse Flash.
It was him, the Reverse Flash.
It was
this whole
me,
time.
Barry.
But yeah, no. So yeah, I mean, the latest. I mean, the fact that there's a latest almost every week is what blows my mind. But I mean,
Right.
I guess they found him. They know where he is now. He's on his farm in Vermont, chilling out with like a family of a mom and 3 children. Only there's like guns, unsecured guns and weed everywhere.
Yep.
And literally, like, the story's so ridiculous, in that like there's supposedly a story of like one of the 1-year-olds just playing around on the farm, like picking up bullets and putting them in their mouth, and it's a
Wait,
grand old
what?
time.
How did they find this out?
No big deal. It's literally in the article. That's what's crazy.
It just said sources claim.
Yeah, this again, sources claim, but I mean,
Source,
We
trust
don't
me,
have
bro.
any like concrete, right? But
well, no, I mean, I'm sure people have gone to visit him that knew he was there. So I based on his track record of behavior, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I'm 99% sure this happened. It's just like we're hearing about it, of course, like secondhand. But yeah, I mean, dude, like there's been so many stories coming out lately. Like literally, I think a week or two ago, we were talking about the fact that like he went to someone's house to talk to them in body armor and like a fur coat, and he was carrying, and like he threatened them if they were to offend him. Like the dude's just like so far off his rocker, it's not even funny. And like this just add it to the pile, like add it to the list. Like the fact that I mean, I don't know. Like I on the one hand, I'm like, I'm surprised that like the legal authorities aren't more involved in the case at this point. Like I think everyone's just waiting for the day where he's like actually, like legit locked up. I certainly don't think he'll ever work in Hollywood again after this, based on the bad press he's gotten, because there's just been so much of it. But yeah, I mean, the craziest thing about this is that like you have a $200 million movie waiting in the wings with him as the lead character, and DC and Warner Brothers Studios have said almost nothing. In fact, like I think the only thing they've said, which we've heard secondhand, is we just won't work with him again after this. Meanwhile, there's a giant movie with him set to come out in maybe like 6 months or less. So the whole situation is insane. Like the DC could have tried to intervene in this in this literal issue that was like devolving in front of their eyes, and yet they saw no need to do so up until now. And now, they might lose a ton of money of it because of it. And I feel bad for everyone in the cast and crew who worked on this besides Ezra Miller, because like DC could have addressed this earlier.
They could have, and they haven't.
Yeah.
DC constantly, like, when it comes to their movies, they prioritize the wrong stuff.
Absolutely.
That's the issue.
But the behavior of this actor has just been that is so outside the realm of what any other actor in any other franchise would be allowed to do, and them not having a come to Jesus moment. Like Marvel got on Mark Ruffalo's ass just for, saying some not only lightly controversial statements. Gina Carano got kicked out for just being an anti-vax truther, and it's like, yeah, that's dumb.
Wait.
But I mean, that's how much Marvel cares about their image.
Did
versus
she also
DC
say
just
something
doesn't
like
care.
anti-Semitic as well?
I'm sure she did.
She did, yeah.
She seems a little crazy.
Probably tweeted it.
And
But-
Yes. Yeah.
So, like, in this day and age, I feel like no celebrity should have a Twitter, but that's besides the point. It's just too much. It's too much temptation.
Look, I don't think anyone should have a Twitter like that.
Yeah, Twitter should
No,
just
he
burn
gets
to the
it.
ground. We don't need it.
I think like even here it says like one source was saying basically that they wanted they wanted to be anonymous. Because
I
out of
also
fear.
would not want to be the one who is like snitching on Ezra Miller with whatever he's got going on
Right?
now.
Right.
He'll show up at my house in a full suit of armor with a fur coat and a gun.
And I mean, what a way to go out, right? Who wants to be clapped by Ezra Miller? I mean, that's just
Not me.
bro.
Yeah, same.
I don't. A celebrity having a real life supervillain arc is not the way I want to go. I'm just saying.
I guess like the woman is saying that like Ezra is having like a healing haven for the mom and the children though.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's another one of those weird Jared Leto cult things.
They
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
have
it
fire
definitely
self-defense
seems very much
classes
like
around
that.
the house.
Sounds very cultish, yeah.
It
I mean,
does.
I mean, then again, like, who knows? Like, she apparently, like, came from an abusive situation with her ex, and, like, who knows, like, how much.
But I mean, there's so many other ways to, like, go about getting them help than, like,
Speculation.exe.
housing them on a farm with, like, weed and weapons. You know what I mean? That sounds more culty than.
But
helpful.
it's a place of healing.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think I've said it before, but I'm pretty sure that in the Flashpoint movie, he's just gonna, he's gonna start running, and another Flash is gonna show up, and he's just gonna burn away into the Speed Force, because he's not gonna be able to keep up with them. And then, they're just gonna they're just gonna do the old switcheroo.
Yeah, DC's gonna find the easiest possible way to write him out of future movies. Like, as said, like, the Flash went back to his own planet and was never seen again.
My people need
I mean,
me.
They can literally just replace him with Kid Flash and call it a day. Easy peasy.
I mean, they probably will. That is another easy fix they go to. Like, honestly, the Flash is the easiest character to do that to, just because there's been so many Flashes. It's just insane that it had to get to this point.
A lot of people are saying they want the CW Flash to take his place.
Honestly, I wouldn't have an issue with that.
I wouldn't either. I think
that'd be okay.
I sent August the meme of like the dude who plays that Flash like over the grave of Ezra Miller, like doing the peace sign.
Doing the little peace sign.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Ain't that actually him though? I would have thought that was him.
You're saying like Ezra
in the
Miller
original meme.
Yeah, in the original meme, I would have thought that was him because they
No,
almost.
So it is Barry. It is Grant Gustin posing an original meme. It's been
Yeah.
like meme to death. It's just like obviously it's not Ezra Miller's gravestone, but yeah, no, that's a picture from one of the episodes where they're doing a crossover after I think either Oliver died or Laurel died. I don't know. It's been so long since I watched any of the CW stuff because it all
Right.
isn't. None of it's great anymore. None of it's even good anymore, in my opinion. But I used to be a pretty big fan, and yeah, I mean, Grant Gustin's great. Everyone loves him as the Flash. He's got no controversies around him. By all accounts, he's a super nice and humble guy.
Yeah.
I just think, yeah, I know, right? He could have a super villain arc. Maybe this is a curse. We don't know. I just don't think DC wants to go that route, unfortunately. And I kind of can't blame them. I mean, it seems like they're trying to just kind of close the book on the TV Flash universe, whether it's good or bad. And I don't think they want to reopen it by bringing him into the movies because that would make things even more complicated than they already are. They kind of had a soft interaction already, in that there was like an after credit scene in one of the crossovers of the TV universe with Ezra Miller before he went crazy. That basically softly implied that it was Grant Gustin's Flash that gave Ezra Miller's Flash the idea for the name Flash because he was just called like the Blur or something at that point. It was like super early in his career. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, I don't think they want to muddy the waters anymore, unfortunately. I can't kind of blame them. Even though I love Grant Gustin and it would be very cool to see him on the silver screen. But yeah, I mean, Ezra Miller needs to go. He needed to go yesterday. And the fact that DC waited too long to address this or too long to even rein him in, like there should have been like literally DC bodyguards showing up at his house and being like, listen, if you don't smarten up, you're never getting paid again. Like,
Right.
we can't stress this enough. So the fact that they let this issue spirals out of control as they did, I mean, yeah.
I mean, didn't they already wrap up like the Flash filming for the thing before like the big controversial stuff happened anyway?
No, he was like choking women out 2 years ago. They just didn't care enough about it and thought it would just blow over.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah. There's a video of him just like choking a woman out in a nightclub, and they were just like, "Oh, don't worry about it, guys."
Don't worry about
And
it.
sure enough, people forgot, but some people forgot.
It didn't happen though.
Yeah.
I think
Yikes.
my favorite cheesy title is "Career Over in a Flash" that I saw.
Oh,
Ha.
that's fantastic.
Yeah, there's all kinds of puns. So with that, guys, yo, Freddie, Drew, where can people find you?
Where can they find me? Okay, so I have a few different tags, so this might be a little bit confusing. Because my last Twitter got borked and sussed back in February. My new Twitter since then is King_Drew, and Drew is spelled DRUU. On TikTok, I'm KingDrew34. On YouTube, I'm just King Drew, and on Instagram, I'm King_Drew34.
Also, any shout outs you guys want to give too, that's more than fine.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to the Academy, my mom, my dad. No, I'm kidding. Shout out to Backlog for inviting me. Shout out to people like Phil, of course, and Freddie and the Purple Sharpie and the rest of y'all in the FGC, especially the FGC that's on TikTok. I love y'all. Y'all are the best, and I can't wait to swing and run hands with y'all on July the 10th for the DNF Duel tournament.
Get it.
Hell yeah. You can
Mhm.
He's
find
making awesome stuff for Combo Breaker.
guys-
One of these days, I'll make it out there.
Freddie,
you,
where,
thank you.
Freddie, where can people find you?
You can find me on pretty much every social at Freddie Pow Pow. That's Freddie FREDDIE _Pow Pow. That's Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all of them, same thing. You can find my website for voice acting stuff. That's frederickpowers.com. Frederick with no K. It's like the name Fred and then the name Eric, and then you put them together and it's Frederick. And if you go to any one of them, like in my bio is a link tree to the rest of them. So it's easy as that.
Yeah,
That's it.
links will be in the description for
Nice.
both Freddie and Drew. Quintessence, where can people find you?
Oh, I'm always streaming on my small little Twitch channel over at twitch.tv/quintessencehd. Stream
Nice.
mostly variety or fighting games, whatever the spice of life takes me,
Awesome, man. August, where can people find you?
Literally same back time, same back channel, backlog podcast. I will be doing what I normally do each week. Diving deep in the news, filth, and muck, like the trash panda I am, for new juicy content topics for our podcast. But other than that, just chilling. I'll stream eventually. I just have no idea when. Whenever I decide to play video games or actually open up my own backlog, which, you know, as I said, I like collecting more than I like playing. So
It'll
who knows
happen.
when that is.
Some year.
But yeah, no, it's these guys have been awesome. It's always awesome to have new people on, hearing from different chats of FGC and just people who do cool shit, more than I do. So yeah, it's cool to be here.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Greatly appreciate you guys coming by.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys, you can find the backlog on Twitch, Instagram, YouTube. We're on TikTok, all at the backlog. You can find the backlog podcast on anywhere you find podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, and such. This has been the backlog podcast number 24. We'll catch you guys soon. Peace out, y'all.
Damn, 24 already?
24
Yep.
already.
See ya.
Bye bye.
Adios.
All right, later.